found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, Let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Here comes the music. Here comes the show on time. On time
Say
as
that
we
with a
are
straight face.
every single week. We are. For those of you who were looking for us 16 minutes ago, hi, how are you?
Thanks for looking.
We're here. We had a lot to do. We had a lot of things to catch up on and, well, getting here and all the other stuff. By the way, I'm going to start out the show with one little shout out I have to because he said to. Hi, Sean Clark. How are you? Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Sean Clark.
He sounds nice.
Yeah.
Lovely man. Very funny. Oh,
Maybe
good.
we should have him on.
Maybe he would. Sean, maybe you could come on
We
and
could
join
turn
us.
this into a comedy show.
Well, I don't
It'd
know
be nice
about
if it was
that.
funny once in a
Yeah.
while.
We'll see if we can tear him away from his other activities and get in here and do it. We'll see.
Is he a hooker? Is that what
no,
you're
he's not a
saying?
hooker. Sean is
I
not a
think-
hooker.
Said activities in a really salacious way. I don't know.
We'll find out more about Sean later. By the way, Marnie Ryer, you can look at our screen. Typically, that chair is empty at this time of the show because Marnie's usually running a little tardy.
Right.
Tonight, she's a little damp, if you will. We've had some crazy rain and weather here in Phoenix in the past night or
Inclement
two.
weather.
And apparently she got 1.5 inches of water inside her house last night. And she's currently fighting with buckets, towels, and starting her process through insurance claims. So bless her
Show
heart.
us that video.
Yeah. Hang on. I'll pull up the video in a minute that she sent us. I haven't. Part of my preparation didn't give me time to put that together just yet, but I'll get to the video. So we're going to cover her spot with a Q Talk logo that hides your bag or whatever
Yeah.
you had laying there.
It's my purse.
Good.
It's all good. And then
I
if
see
you
I'm
look,
still sitting in a kid's chair here.
if you look at where Al's picture is, see my hand in Al's shot right there? This is a tiny little screen that we have set up for Al, so he can monitor world activities and the YouTube chat room to see if anybody pops up in there so we don't leave them out. So how's it going over there right now, Al?
Really good. It's just a Nant and Marnie Aaron is in there.
Oh, well, look at you. Look, mine's very busy over there.
Wow.
It's busier than the standard chat room that
They're
only
not
has...
talking though. There's people in there, but they're not talking.
Well, they don't have to talk. They're at least they're there.
They're watching.
We know they're there. Marnie's
They're lurking.
somewhere out there. It'd be great if we could, if I had the ability, I'd just take a phone call from Marnie and we'd figure out, go live. But let me, while you guys catch up right quick, let me see if I can pull up the video that she sent me on how it looks in her house because that's exciting.
That'll be great.
Yeah. What did you do this week?
Well, I received some wonderful propaganda in the mail just today.
What is that?
I'm very excited about this misleading bullshit right here.
Who's recruiting you?
Well, the return address says process immediately. Congressional district document enclosed
Oh my God.
from the Republican National Committee.
Oh, the RNC.
The RNC themselves.
They are nothing if not deceptive with their mail.
P.O. Box 96994, Washington, D.C.
Huh.
20090 in case you want to send them a letter.
I'm sure people are going to get
They
right on that.
write that down. So they have sent me this very official looking letter and survey that says at the very top 2019 Congressional District Census. They're censusing our district. And I was like, well, that's odd.
That's
Census
funny.
isn't until next year. What the
Yeah.
fuck are
Yeah.
they doing? Well, no, this isn't like the national census.
They just want
This is, and there's a big, long, boring letter that we're not going to read. But this is my second notice, apparently.
Well, what did you do with the first one?
I don't know. I apparently didn't receive it. I'm very concerned now.
I'm sure you are.
My participation is urgently needed.
Is it?
Absolutely. As a key facet of our overall strategy to ensure President Trump is reelected, we're
Dun, dun,
conducting
dun.
a census of key members and supporters in congressional districts. I don't know how the fuck I got on this
Wow,
list.
yeah.
But wow.
Know your audience.
Yeah. But just, it's a big propaganda survey. Do you think the Democrat Party as a whole is promoting a big government socialist agenda for America? No, I do not, sir. But do you?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me
But
that?
it sounds
Is
like
that what
you
you
do,
think?
yeah.
Do you think that political correctness, in quotes, has gotten out of hand in America? No, I think politeness would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice way to go. And if you can't be polite, then be politically correct. Like
Right.
that's where it comes from. People stopped being polite. Yeah. So I'm very excited about my propaganda, which I am going to fill out and send back
What? No,
without the recommended
no, I am.
donation.
Yeah.
I am curious
Sans the donation.
when they get those. Aside from looking for your money, which
Clearly.
they desperately need, apparently. I'm wondering if somebody were to actually go through and answer these questions, regardless if they're an
I'm
R,
going to.
an R or a D.
Right.
I wonder what information they actually do glean off of that. Like, is there something that they really do with it?
So the problem with this is that you're sending it to people that are all drinking the same Kool-Aid so that you can prop up your ideas by telling people, you tell people that the sky is green, and then you send them the survey and you say, hey, is the sky green? And they say yes because you've told them that. And so then you now have scientific evidence to promote our party. And I don't.
Let's see. I don't know if there's any sound to this or not, but I'm going to jump to this video that Marnie sent. Let's see what happens.
There was some
There
sound.
was?
It was rain sounds, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Your mute button's on, though.
Oh, fuck these videos. Oh, because it's Facebook. Hang on. Where's that click? This is such a
missed.
pain in the ass. Sounds like rain.
Sounds like rain.
So that's what Marnie was dealing with. I don't know if I don't think she is currently. I think that was last night.
I was curious about that because she sent the video this afternoon, and I was like, wait, but it hasn't rained
Well,
all
that
day.
beautiful
Yeah.
bean footage right there, kids. That's
And Nan says we're missing an audio stream.
Oh, dear.
on what?
I don't know.
Is there audio on the YouTubes? Anance, tell us
No,
things.
YouTube is definitely gone.
I need
YouTube is
more
good.
tech. I need more information.
We need more details. Other than my lovely propaganda mail today, not a lot, I don't think.
Claims that we are. Let me check my little hickey.
Oh, I did go see the Downton Abbey movie.
Oh, how was that?
First of all,
That's okay. This didn't sound good. Well, first of all,
I watched every episode of the show with great delight and enjoyment. But when you put it into a movie and you sit in a theater, you realize that the entire thing had no plot.
No, nothing going on here.
Nothing happening there. It's really just silly. And I loved it. I had a great time. I'm in. I mean, I'm totally sold on that old-timey British shit anyway. And Sharon's leaning over all the time because they're talking about different houses and family inheritances. And, of course, I've been obsessed with British monarchy of various sorts for a long time. So I'm like, no, you don't understand. No, Grantham isn't the place that they live. That's his title. That's his title in the British hierarchy. That's not the place. Yes, they live in Downton Abbey, but he's Lord Grantham and she's Lady Grantham, but she's the Countess of some other shit. So I'm sitting there like explaining it, and then they're talking about some house from like a cousin that they're trying to inherit, and she's like, "Well, but then what would they do with Downton Abbey?" And I'm like, "No, they can have more than one house. It's not very singular."
one tiny little
Anyway.
interjection. I don't
Sure.
know what.
This was not fascinating anyway.
Who is this that's talking about Tune In?
Oh, now.
They are live with us right now. I just got it on my phone. Every
Okay.
source we've got is streaming this live crap right now.
And then please check with your
Something
local
about a radio
provider.
show. Okay.
Well, it's we are
Are we?
allegedly
Allegedly.
a radio
Yeah.
show. No, but maybe restart your device. But I just checked in with TuneIn, and it's telling her story of the British monarchy. So
Wasn't that a fun story? It was.
I got to listen to
Was
none
not.
of it because of what I was doing.
You did a great job.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was my
Right.
problem with that that TV show is just like.
Well, I do
Nothing
enjoy
ever
an
happens on
occasional
Mars.
British show where nothing happens. And Downton Abbey was perfect because it was like just the right time period. And What's Her Bucket that played Lady Mary was very fun and feisty, and I liked her. And I was very sad when they killed off Sybil and all of these things.
Yeah, and I've seen all the Julian Fellows movies.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not sure why they had to make it a movie.
I'm
You
not
know what I
either.
mean? Like, it's predictable along the way, and you know the hijinks, if you will, are okay. Saw that coming,
Because now I gotta Google him real quick.
and yet I had a great time. I laughed, I cried.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Was it a continuation of the TV series? And mind you, I have not watched any of it at all, but I was just curious. Is it something that just continues on from the series?
Sort of. It picks up in a time after the series ended.
Oh,
right?
the series ended. Didn't know.
Yeah, series ended.
Didn't know.
Sure happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a couple of years.
Couple
so
years.
Shut
Right
up.
on top of that, Rose.
Well, I never watched it. I just keep hearing about it. I assume it's still on. I keep
but
hearing about
it's
all
a
the time.
standalone. It encompasses the span of about a weekend because, oh my God, the King and Queen of England are coming to visit because they're touring the countryside, and so they're going to stay one night at Downton Abbey, and so there's like hijinks and stress with the staff, and then there's the aristocracy has to deal with their issues, and then there's a cousin that's
It's all
coming
very
along.
upstairs, downstairs.
It's very upstairs, downstairs.
And all that sounds like it's just
Oh my gosh!
to
But,
me.
but no,
the
I've
synopsis
invested.
you
I've
gave.
invested. Maybe my retelling is wonderful.
No, your retelling is typically wonderful. That storyline just okay. They're coming to visit. Who gives a shit?
And it's you have to really kind of love that whole Pride and Prejudice-y
Yeah,
feel and time period to
the
like
upstairs,
Downton Abbey
downstairs. You have
at
to be
all.
like to see the mechanisms of the staff versus the people that live at the house and the completely different lifestyles. But he did that movie already with Gosford Park. Like he already
Right.
made that movie once.
And so he made it
With
again.
many of
and
the same people.
He got my $10. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like
whatever.
the phrase "hilarity ensued" ever follows this movie you're speaking
Oh,
of.
probably not.
Oh no, not especially hilarious. Very predictable along the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
the retired butler was of course brought back in for the stateliness of the visit because the new young butler was just a little in over his head. And
Yeah.
Then the
Ooh.
palace staff comes and runs roughshod over all of the household
Not
staff.
roughshod.
Yes.
Oh my God, we're using words like that.
I know.
My God.
You got me started on the vocabulary today.
Yeah.
Just keeps going. Yeah, if you're not into that particular time period of kind of romantic fiction anyway, you're not gonna love it.
Yeah.
But
I guess
liked
he
it.
hasn't made this thing as many times as I thought he did.
Fair enough.
Made what thing?
Maybe you're thinking of
This
somebody
same
else.
story, yeah, I really am, because he's only made Gosford Park, which is kind of like I was like, okay, I know this story. But he, former actor.
Former actor. Currently not an actor. Former
fair
actor.
enough.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what he used to be known for. Now he's been, 68 credits. Good for him.
Oh,
Good
is he-
for him.
Oh, he's behind the scenes now. He's not on screen. Is that what you're saying?
Right, Julian
Got it.
Fellows, yeah,
Got it.
writer. I think he's a sometime director.
Yeah.
I thought he was. Oh, it's the guy that keeps writing the Queen over and over again.
Oh yeah. That does
He's
keep
got
getting
Peter
done
Morgan.
all the
He's
time.
got like one fucking movie that it just keeps making.
And I'm
So
gonna
I've kind
I'm
of
gonna
lumped-
continue to see them.
Yeah.
Is the problem. I'm going to continue to watch.
Because he wrote Elizabeth I with Helen Mirren, and then she was in The Queen about Elizabeth II, and now she's in something else. And I feel like he wrote those movies about Queen Victoria too. Like he's
You
got
might
a
be right.
real narrow wheelhouse there.
Really,
They're
like
all
4
delightful.
characters,
Everyone
right.
interesting, but everyone fascinating.
Yeah.
I loved The Queen. I really thought that was very interesting. Because you're not expecting them to tell the story of Princess Diana's death.
Sure. Yeah.
in
Oh,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah. You're not
To
expecting
get
that at
Princess
all.
Diana's death from that point of view is very strange.
Very interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you actually kind of sympathize with how cold the Queen was about the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in real time and in coverage, she was very like standoffish and cold about it, but she thought she was protecting her family.
Right, yeah. It's
She was
a
like,
very
no. You know, yeah.
Oh.
yeah,
that's
that's a really, really good movie.
Apparently, British television is my thing right now, though. So
Yeah, well, can't go wrong. Can't
Netflix
go wrong.
is serving it up to me one right after the other.
Yes, Betty Windsor is being portrayed in The Queen.
In the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I typically like British television, but not what you're watching. Like all of the comedy stuff.
The
is,
British comedies.
yeah,
Yeah.
British
Yeah,
humor's
a lot of those are really
fantastic.
fun. No, I found a really fucked up, intense show on Netflix that was Britishly made, and I just
British
What show was that?
it's called Dr. Foster.
Oh.
Yeah, and go look it up because it's about just an average British couple from like a small town in England somewhere outside of London, and they like he's cheating and they get divorced and this whole thing, and then it just goes towards this like deep dark divey twist, and it ended in a way I did not expect.
Wow.
You should watch it. I was very, very upset and nervous the whole time watching it. But like in a good way because they did a good job. It's definitely not a comedy.
Definitely not.
Definitely not a comedy.
Not a comedy.
Not
Yeah.
a comedy.
So The Crown is Peter Morgan also does The Crown, the TV show.
Oh, that
So
makes
it hadn't
again Betty Windsor.
hadn't rung enough out of the Betty Windsor story, so he made a TV show.
He must have read a lot of books about it.
Yeah, he's just a fan, or he knows her.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Okay, that's all I did. I didn't really do anything. I went to a movie. I worked.
It's all right.
Yelled at my kids.
Are they feeling better? They were ill when last we met.
Yes. Yeah, feeling better. I think I'm getting the silent treatment from the eldest right now, but I'm not sad about it.
Yeah. Also, deal.
I know.
A deal
yeah,
was struck.
Like they came back from their dad's today, and we had to go run one errand, and he's in all kinds of trouble right now because he's not doing his homework and all kinds of bullshit. So he had been yelled at by his dad, and he kind of came home a little sheepish and said not one word to me. Like,
oh, wow.
Oh.
yeah, like got in the car, went to the appointment we had to go to, got back home, then he went and hid straight in his room and said not one word all afternoon, which is odd because he's the kid that always has some bullshit to say, which is why we fight a lot.
Okay.
He's always got some fucking smart ass thing to say. Yeah, so apparently I'm receiving the silent treatment, and I'm hoping this continues for a long time.
Okay.
Can we turn this into years?
It's good to be ready.
Right. I'm prepared.
Well, and again, how old? I forget.
13, just about 14. It'll be
Yeah,
almost 14, yeah.
You're getting it. You're gonna get. Yeah. Good for you.
Oh, I know.
I hope you enjoy it.
Listen, silent treatment is wonderful. I hope.
Quality time. Quality time for you. What the hell is this, Katie? Come on.
So Ananta's talking about QI. I don't know if we're pronouncing that as a word, but I'm not seeing what it is. So send us a link, Anant.
QI or Q or
It's-
QI.
I'm not sure.
Don't know.
Oh. So I went to, for my friend Tiffany's bachelorette party. I'd never been to one before. Don't know if I need to go to another one. We did a weekend in.
I've DJ'd enough of them. I can guarantee you don't need to.
It was.
I'm actually surprised by this news.
I figured
All
you
right,
had
carry on.
over the years been to one or two at least.
No.
All right.
So they had the same reaction that I had not been to one, and it's fun to hang out with them. It's just some of the stuff is, intended for the ladies kind of thing. Bless you.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're gonna start with this first picture. Are you ready?
Oh yeah. So went to Temecula. Fun tour bus. They're called the Vamboozies. You go around in a VW van from the 70s, restored.
It's so cute. It's a
Yes.
cute little thing.
They're restored inside. The top is like a cutout. You push it back, and that way you get a little bit more air because there ain't no air conditioning in that thing.
They call them a bus, not a van.
VW bus. Here we are in a
bus.
VW bus.
That's so
It was
cute.
really charming. Our driver, Danny, was hysterical. So the bus was called Sandy. That's my beautiful friend Katrina on the left. And we had a cute house. So this was just a cute picture at this one vineyard. We didn't like the wine as much, but we loved the ground. So I thought that was a cute picture
That is
of
a
all
great
of
picture.
us that went. And a cute idea that they're doing with these like big giant frames.
Oh, I went too far. My bad. Hang on, let me back up just a bit. There's the frame. That's a
cute.
huge frame.
Yeah. So fun, it's a cute concept, very Friends to stand in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you went to the ocean one day.
yes, and so we realized that who the fuck knows where Temecula is, but it's exactly like 1 hour to the minute from Oceanside or
Oh.
Carlsbad. So we went to the ocean and we found the Oceanside Pier and the city of Oceanside's pier. And we walked along and we were watching a surfing competition, and the category was, I guess, teens, like under juniors, whatever they were. They weren't quite.
Junior varsity.
They weren't. Yeah, but they weren't. It wasn't. Maybe it was a juniors competition, but they weren't. Or maybe they were called the young people competition. And they weren't the juniors. Oh my God, these kids were amazing surfers, and like it was fun. We were sitting in the pier, didn't know we were going to a surf competition. We listened to it being called. We could hear it from where we were, and we were like right above the one surfer where he was catching waves, like looking literally down on him, trying to see like which wave he would catch. That was a lot of fun. And then we noticed out in the distance that there was a fin, and then realized that's a shark.
That's what that is there, a shark. Okay.
So, yeah, we saw like birds, a bunch of birds near the water, and then saw a like saw the fin, and I was like, okay, because I don't know if I
And
said.
we're sure not dolphin.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
Here's why.
Because last
I enjoy an answer that starts like that.
last month when we were in Oregon, we were standing, and I don't think I told you guys this, but we were standing in the seawall of the city where we went to dinner, and we were going for a little walk. We saw the spray of whales, and then realized like, oh, there's a whale there, and then we'd see the fin, and then occasionally you'd see the tail, and we saw what was either 3 whales or 5 whales. We don't know if the group that was here were then the group over here, but then there was another pair over here.
Okay.
Like there was clearly 3 over there, clearly 1 over here, possibly 2. But you would see the spray, and dolphins breathe the same way. They have to come up,
Right.
and you have to see that spray. They make them very easy to spot
Okay.
because you look for the spray where they come up, and then the fin will come up afterwards. No spray on this one. So we see it like out in the distance, and I was like so excited because I'm like, there's no spray. Dolphins have to breathe. Whales definitely breathe because I just seen that. And then we saw it come a little bit like closer to the end of the pier. It was all the way at the like on the horizon, and then it came towards the end of the pier. And then not just me saw the shark and Katrina and Tiffany. Oh, no. The lifeguard on the jet ski that's patrolling the waters went right out there. And then you could see the size of the shark because it was next to the jet ski.
No.
Oh my God.
Like he went out, was looking, and then all of a sudden the fin came up and he knew where the shark was.
Yeah. Oh
But
my.
the good news is I don't think it was that big when compared to the jet ski. So I think there was that little bit of like, oh, there's a shark by that jet ski, and then you kind of got an idea by the fin next to the jet ski, like you got a little bit of perspective to be like,
I think you're underestimating the size of jet skis now.
right.
So what type of shark was this?
They said it was a thresher shark, and then somebody on the
doesn't really
pier
tell me.
had
Okay.
caught a thresher shark as well, and they're not small. So that's what they were saying. Like everyone that was fishing along the pier was kind of having an unsuccessful day of fishing because either the small fish were scared off by the fact that there were sharks all over the place,
Sure.
or the sharks had already eaten the smaller fish. Like they now had a large predator in the area that had eaten everything that the fishermen were going to get. And sure enough, like everybody at the end of the pier when we got there was talking about the size of the shark that
Wow.
they had just caught. And I don't know if what was in the water was a thresher shark also, but that's what was caught nearby. But then the thresher shark has like this big fin, has a much larger like tail fin.
Okay.
The dorsal fin is one, but then the tail fin is the big one that looks like the back of an airplane.
Right.
Kind of crazy.
Oh.
So it was very exciting, and then wake up to get home
It's a
that
hell
night.
of a day at sea,
I
sir.
know. Wake up the next morning, and Phoenix is on the Weather Channel for flooding and weather
Things were
incidents.
happening
I was
here.
like,
I know.
oh my gosh, this is all my favorite things, and I've seen them all in person. So that was very exciting.
There was a hell of a lot of rain came down very quickly. Around it. And
Yeah, but I was expecting it in the morning because that's when the Weather Channel started playing all the stuff for Apache Junction. It took like 12 hours to get to us. Like that shit didn't hit us till like 6:30 p.m. at night, close to 7.
Oh wow.
But then it really did. But that was at like 10 a.m. on the Weather Channel. Was that Apache Junction was, they were swimming for their lives and water rescues and the water going through the washes and everything. Very dramatic.
I feel like I missed a whole lot because I looked out my window and I went, oh, it's raining.
Yeah.
And then I looked out my window
Well,
again.
the Weather
and
Channel was
and
set
it
because
stopped.
before I left, I was watching people drowning in Houston because
Sure.
that
like you do.
tropical
'Cause that's what
storm,
you
yeah, that
do.
tropical storm hurricane did another one of those things where it just sat over Houston for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're getting a really good example of like coastal cities going underwater now between, Houston 2 times in 3 years and the Bahamanians that are, the Puerto Ricans, all these people like things are disappearing
Might
now
be
at
time
sea
to
level.
move uphill, people.
Yeah. So it was cool. I hope everyone was safe. I know that they rescued the people that were on the TV everyone was successfully rescued on my TV.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I didn't watch the news report of it, but one of my favorite things I saw on Twitter, one of the news feeds I follow, was here local. A school bus was, and again, this is one of the things, just give it 5 minutes, people. A school bus somehow was in a dry spot on a road between two spots that were water was rushing. And I'm like, okay, so nobody's in danger. They're on a bus, on a school bus. The students are fine. Everybody's dry. The water's way far away from them. If you give it 10, 15 minutes, that water's going to rush off that road, and then they could drive that bus
But
right.
the children, Clayton.
Oh, but no, the children.
children.
Children
Yeah.
were fine. So I don't know exactly how they evacuated them, but I'm like, come on, people. The bus is on dry land in a section of a.
But the children.
Oh fuck! It just gets me. I'm like, come on.
And I just remember Clayton when he used to talk shit about all the people that were stranded in the water. And the one night of his birthday in the flooded
Oh, I do
7th
love that we tell this story every time it
7th
rains.
Street in Camelback. Just drive.
Just drive.
Just drive.
Hey,
Like,
we got out of there.
we are those people
I
in
know.
a Prius.
I
In a
wasn't.
no clearance vehicle.
I wasn't driving.
Yeah, well, clearly, and we're all thankful for that.
Yeah.
Everybody was, sure.
As I recall how that story goes, you probably shouldn't have been navigating either.
Yeah.
I was in the back seat. I was backseat driving. I'll have you know.
Those are always appreciated.
I can't find where that. I don't understand how all this works. Maybe I can't. Maybe Instagram online isn't the same as on the phone because I can't find. I watched it earlier where she was talking about it. It was
Okay.
so funny.
Do you want me to find it for you?
Because it's an. Well, I'm on my Instagram on the thing here, but her story doesn't show up. It was very funny because you know how Katie June has ailments all the time. So this was an ailment where apparently I guess they got a kitten or cats for the twins,
Oh my gosh.
and she's breaking out in hives.
Oh no.
So part of this post was talking about how she had been to Clayton McKee's house, and he has 2 cats. Then she called him by name, all that kind of stuff, and it just cracked me up that she's all about this hive thing. So I'm like, what's wrong with Katie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the way that Instagram stories work is they expire at a certain point,
Well,
and
that's
I
not-
believe it's expired.
That's
because it can,
bullshit. Is
I
what
can
that
get
is.
to her Instagram stories, but it is gone.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it did expire. Yeah, I could have answered that, but I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, well,
Not sure.
that's bullshit. If you're gonna
Okay.
get tagged in something and called out, you should be able to see it repeatedly.
Just like people saying your name. Is that what's?
No, I just wanted to be able to show it. If I would have known it was going to expire the second I watched it, I would have.
Should have recorded
I
it.
should have. I would have recorded it here
Why
so I
aren't you
could.
recording all of your
Oh,
online
fuck.
activity, Clayton?
No, that's not ever going to happen. First of all, there's not enough. There's certainly not enough of it for me to bother recording most of it. I just think things like that. If you're tagged in something, you should have an opportunity to. Hey, would you like to download this to your videos on your phone? Well, yes, I would. Click, and then you just.
Well,
go.
yes, I would.
Oh, I would.
Yes, please,
But
sir or
it's
ma'am.
the same as Facebook stories. They're on 24 hours.
Yeah, they disappear.
And
We
this
don't
is-
need them. We
Because
don't
it's not
need
a
them
post.
forever.
Yeah,
We don't need
it's
them
not a
forever.
post. It's a story.
Current events. It's like the news.
Breaking fucking
Breaking news.
And it adds to why I don't really care to do all this bullshit because.
In fact, if I ever start posting stories,
exhausting.
I'm going to start them all with breaking news.
Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna? Is that what you're gonna do? Okay,
Yeah.
you do that.
From my tiny little child seat over here.
Just the funniest. No way to adjust their camera, huh? Anything I can do?
Not
Hey, guys,
you.
How's it going?
No,
But I can't like.
no, don't fuck because it fuck up every other shot. Hang on.
I'm sitting on a tiny little
How did
stool
that-
over here.
How did that happen?
It was like
like
that
that
last week. And we never fixed it. And now
Hang
I'm
on.
amused.
Well, hang on. Oh, we're gonna bring it way up.
Bring it up.
Now, first of all, hang on. Oh, I can't have Al's head in it, so let's bring that up. So there's that.
Oh, I
I got taller.
Now,
Look at me
no.
go. I'm
I wish
small.
it was a little bit taller.
Now I'm
I
gonna.
wish it was a ball.
Now we're gonna change Al's seat. The problem is this all messes with all the camera shots, and I have to change shit.
Hey guys, how do you like our show?
Yeah.
So far,
How do you like me now?
and we'll take this down to here. Al, you put right there would be good. Now watch this, Al.
Wait, here it comes. Wow.
Arms. Al has arms.
No, I'm not sure about that.
Clayton, what have you been doing?
Well, adjusting screenshots.
You're
Apparently,
doing a great job.
Oh, I'm really happy about it too. Let me brighten this
Gonna
up.
Felicia Rashad your way through this episode?
There we go. There, I brightened
I
this
don't want
up.
people to know about the baby.
Yeah.
Just hold on to that pillow.
Yeah.
Well, enjoying the fact that for a couple of nights, been able to have the windows open and cool breezes through the house. That's been lovely for one. There's been really not much else of any real great excitement to anybody else but me. So, had to took my vehicle in for service today, warranty service on the Explorer.
Oh, how's it
Wasn't
going?
supposed to get it back until tomorrow. Got it back today.
My gosh.
Amazing.
Wow.
Backup,
Such service.
backup camera failed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
How
let-
would
let
you
me-
how would you back
well,
up without
let me
the
tell you-
camera?
So I've been driving.
out.
I've been
New car,
driving.
new car.
I've been driving all kinds of different equipment and machines and trucks and tractors and shit my entire life. Always been able to back up. All those things are. Now why is that shot low again? Why does that look low again?
Because it's still too low.
Son of a bitch! I'll fix it again. Anyway, thanks, Mom. Anywho, so I can back up any vehicle that I'm used to backing up without a camera. The Explorer's camera went out the other day, and I thought I was the most disabled person ever driving because, yes, there's mirrors, but you lose and when you in an SUV, which in the van, you can't just turn around and see. Like in my truck, I can see the end of the truck.
I don't have a backup camera.
No. I mean, I understand. I'm saying in your van, you can't just turn and realize you've got a whole van behind you. Like in the truck, I can look out the back window
I
of the
see.
truck, and you're right there.
So it's never my entire life occurred to me to turn my head around to back up
Oh, I've always done that.
because my dad was a truck driver, so I was not allowed to.
Well, right, because
You know what I mean?
you
Like
use the
I
two
learned how to
mirrors.
drive. Like you keep your face forward. Doesn't matter which direction you're going because you see those things on the side of your car.
Right.
They're called mirrors. They're to help you see behind you. Figure out how to use them
Oh.
so you don't turn around.
Do I have those?
Yeah,
I allegedly,
two.
yes.
And they're heated on your car, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my gosh, that's very important in Arizona to have heated
Well,
mirrors.
you might go somewhere where it's cold, like Tucson. In the
I
winter.
But
bet
yeah,
it-
so as part of my like very early driver training, turn around to back up was not a thing. Like there's no big like crank your arm behind the
Right.
bench and none of that happens.
Well, I get that in a lot of cases, but when we were hooking up trailers and doing things, I had to have a visual on a trailer tongue, and you can't get that in a mirror because it's behind the vehicle. So there were aspects that you had to.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell my dad that, but yes.
Take it out whatever the fuck you want. Regardless,
Right. No, I agree.
just was completely out of my element with trying to back up the Explorer
I'm-
by just using mirrors.
That has taken away what little ability I had to drive. The backup mirror, backup camera eliminated it completely.
Handy as hell.
Because now
they
I
are.
just look in the mirror. I'm looking forward because I'm looking right at a TV screen to see what's happening behind me.
Right, and then just hit the gas and go.
Yeah.
If something's in the way, something beeps. I mean, I
Yeah.
still had the beeping thing happening, but I was so nervous. Like I
Oh my! The next year they got rid of the beeping, and then they got rid of something. My car does something when someone comes up in my blind spot. My old car used to have a yellow dot.
mine has the yellow
Mm-hmm.
dots.
Now there's some other thing that they replaced the yellow dot with the next year. Disappointment.
I'm already upset about it. I don't even have a newer car.
And I was like, I miss my yellow dot
Yeah, why
because that
would-
was very helpful to know that there's someone,
right.
Sure.
especially at night, because people are such bad drivers at night, me included. That
Right.
that
Well,
was
and I
always
also
handy.
thought it was helpful for motorcycles because you again.
Oh, those
it
They're
would
very
sense-
sneaky.
Those
they are.
motherfuckers in California are the worst.
Yeah,
Oh, that
They
wave in the
drive-
traffic.
it's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very nervous.
It's legal to drive
Yeah.
right in someone's blind spot between two cars. It's legal to just pass in between. Everything's legal on motorcycles, and it's just setting up people to die. I know they.
Oh, it is. You're as soon as somebody changes a lane in front of you and that motorcycle goes right into that car, that just terrifies me when
Yeah.
you do that. And then and it bugs me when you're doing, if you're in traffic in LA or whatever area in California, and you're already, let's say you're doing 45, 50 miles an hour, all the cars are going, they'll sling right between you at 60, 70 miles an hour and just keep going.
Yeah.
God, are you just insane? Why would you?
Yes.
Yeah, they're insane.
I truly
The
believe
answer to
they
that
are.
is yes.
I forget, is there a helmet law in California or no?
I believe so.
Well,
I cannot.
So when they
remember.
die, at
Yeah,
least the
because
head will be
my mother's
protected.
always really stunned about the no helmets elsewhere. So I think California has helmet laws.
because we don't, correct?
We don't. It always kind of comes up in Idaho because I have uncles and cousins and stuff that ride a lot of motorcycles and they don't wear helmets.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like not wearing a seatbelt. Just go ahead and die.
Yeah. Get ready.
So that's your plan,
Yeah.
right?
My family doesn't get together a lot, so
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, that's good. That's
It's
all-
important to
Weddings,
say goodbye to
funerals,
each
and
of
the
them
annual
for real
camp out.
when you
That's
see
about
them.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see them, say goodbye for real.
I
Because
do.
You'd have less,
odds are not in their
I never
favor.
know.
less funerals if they'd wear seatbelts and helmets.
Yeah, but then we'd see the rest of them less.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta thin the herd somehow.
Knock on wood, no one has died that way.
What's wrong with your scooter? I just looked up and it says that reminds me my scooter needs servicing.
'Cause you-
Well,
It apparently needs servicing.
well, and I'm not sure what's wrong with your scooter. Is that some sort of a innuendo of something? My scooter needs servicing.
What are you inferring there, sir?
What on your scooter needs servicing, sir?
It's tailpipe.
The wheels on the scooter go round and round.
Oh, accents.
Cat still looks like she's in a hole. Well, let's get somebody to work
Well-
on that. Oops, wrong thing.
We'll get her a Tom Cruise inspired Apple box.
My chair's as tall as it'll go.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Good.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Oh,
Well, that's perfect. That's the kind of quality we've come to expect.
oh my God, Cat, that's funny.
How about now? How do I look?
How do you
Hi?
like me now?
How am I looking?
How do you like me now? How's she looking, Mom?
Hole got bigger.
Hole got bigger.
Hold down.
Hole,
Hold down.
or down.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Hole,
Is it-
not whore. How rude.
Whichever way it goes.
Oh, so I did get Cabernet Franc from the Somerset Winery in Temecula.
Delicious.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Their whites were just routinely shitty
Right.
from tits to tail in Temecula, but some good reds. I think we found one nice white, maybe from Somerset,
Okay.
but I don't remember. We found one that my friend liked, and we found one that I liked, and
Go back up, please.
it doesn't make as big a difference as you think.
I can't adjust the shot with you there.
Laying on the ice is not skating, Katarina. You're gonna need to stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nat, I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, that's nice. Look at me. I look like an adult
Like a
sitting at
grown-up,
a table,
yeah.
like
Almost.
a grown up.
So close.
So the delicious wines in the Temecula. Now, whereabouts in California is Temecula?
So it's south of Riverside, San Bernardino.
Okay.
So if you take the 15, you
Yep.
go like a little bit past Palm Springs, and then you go left. And then the earth is nice enough to meet you in that little slant where California slices off
Yep.
there.
That's very nice.
So that's how Temecula can be so close to Oceanside.
Got it.
It would be another like probably 40 minutes down into San Diego proper.
Right.
Or I'm sure there's a way you could backdoor your way through the 8. You could probably 15 to 8 and get into inland San Diego that way a little bit easier. I would
Okay,
imagine.
maybe.
I mean, a map would probably confirm this, but who's got that kind of
Who
time?
has-
Well, I'm pulling it up right now.
But
Nobody has
it
that
was
kind of
lovely
time.
and then the drive home from Temecula wasn't bad. Like we made 2 stops, and the ride home from Oceanside. And we ate at a really good restaurant. It was a town I'd never heard of. I mean, I knew there was an Oceanside, California, but I'd never
Oh,
been
really?
there because it's not on the 5, which is the way that I've always gone.
Sure.
I've never driven the coast up from
Mm-hmm.
San Diego past a certain point. So it's cute. And Carlsbad, California is right there. I was expecting, then I remembered that the Carlsbad I was thinking of was New Mexico.
Sure.
So
Different?
Yeah, different.
Slightly
Yeah,
different.
different. No, not,
Here's
not
here's a point of reference for you. There's Temecula in the red circle or area, and then Anaheim and Santa Ana and Huntington Beach are all right there. Irvine.
yeah. And then if you just pop straight
You-
down there,
Viewers don't see.
yeah.
I
If
don't
you
care.
pop down there,
Mickey lives there.
Yeah, Mickey lives there.
Sharks are here.
And all the way down because we were down in
Wine is
Oceanside.
there.
Wine is there in Temecula.
And Al was here.
If you see right above San Clemente, there's Dana Point. Dana Point is, if I'm not mistaken, no, I think I'm incorrect. I'm incorrect. I thought, I got to figure out where Seal Beach is. Seal Beach is the first beach I was ever on in my life.
Oh, very nice.
If anybody gives a shit.
Seal Beach is down by La Jolla.
No, we'll look up that in a minute.
But
Dana Point contains one of the few
Dana's?
Danas
yeah,
that are pointing. And
hell of a way to spend eternity, sir.
Pointing?
beachside campgrounds is what I was looking for.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Weird trivia, I know, but it's a thing that I know about Dana Point.
Yeah, and that Lake Elsinore is right there, and I just think it sounds great. And then we almost went to the Salton Sea because I've still never been. Has anybody been there? Mm-mm. It is the second salt lake in America.
Aside from
The Great
Aside
Salt
from the
Lake.
Great.
It's the lesser Salt Lake.
Oh.
In the human body, if there's anything that's a greater, there must be a lesser if there's a, They're out there. If there's a first, there must be a second. You know what I mean? If you're gonna number it, you gotta have a second one.
Fair enough.
So,
Oh wow, we're way up.
oh, and Kevin from Michigan has now graced us. So,
Hello,
anyways,
Kevin.
it's down there. It doesn't look super pretty, but there's a saltwater lake, natural lake in Southern California. You can see it from the 10, kind of as you're leaving Coachella Valley.
Okay.
As you go up. So it just sits there. You can see it if you fly to San Diego too. You fly over, and it's very bizarre to see this body of water. But I'm sure it has that same sulfur-like smell and all that stuff. But I've always wanted to go because it's got like there's recreational signs for there. And does
Cool.
anybody know anybody that does anything there? Do we have any information about the Salton Sea? But it's just very funny that there's this salt just sitting there and.
Right.
So, if those of you watching us on the YouTube, you see the map on the screen now. There's Long Beach. Seal Beach is just south of there. Then you go down Huntington, Newport, down to the other areas. But I didn't realize where it was. It's been a long time
There
ago
it
when
is.
I was there.
Look at it there.
I didn't realize it was south of
Just right off of Long Beach. I had no idea.
beautiful
At all.
Laguna.
Yes, all those lovely areas.
Because Laguna, La Jolla has beautiful, the seal area, the seal protected area, and there's the part that they made into the children's beach. It's just they didn't really make it into it. It's a natural little turn in the
Like a
the
cove?
earth, like a little cove that makes it a much more gentle beach for like families and children and
Oh.
not big waves. But then the seals took it over because it's a gentle
Gentle,
lovely place
yeah.
with not a lot of waves.
For pups.
So there's been a fight with environmentalists for years down there, and I think it came up with, we're just going to share it. Like, everybody play nice.
Yeah.
I don't know who patrols the seals, if they're just, on their own reconnaissance. No one
on
has
their
ever
best
said,
behavior.
Yeah, you behave.
Here's a ball.
Yeah. You do this. And but they're everywhere. That's really fun in La Jolla. Fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And then up in the pier in San Francisco with all the seals there. It smells a little funny.
Smells really funny.
But it's cool.
They're fun to go see.
Yeah, they really are. Because they're very amused with each other. Sometimes they're lazy. Sometimes they play with each other.
Yeah,
The whole
they're fairly
rolling-
entertaining.
Yeah, the whole rolling over each other like they're lubed up. Fun.
Okay.
It reminds different people of different things.
I guess it does.
Oh, and Jenny's sister lives in Dana Point. Cousin Temecula, family all over.
Look out.
In a growing town, and it's become a destination for people who can't afford the rents in San Diego. So Temecula is becoming their Chandler. And as we were driving through, like you go in the Vineyards area, and then all of a sudden you're just in Scottsdale and Chandler. Like you're
Right.
just in giant strip malls and houses with walls around them, and make the next legal U-turn. You know what I mean? It's all Desert Springs. It's all that just god awful
Yeah.
city planning by white people that just.
It's where everybody wants to raise their kids.
Yeah, it's just cut off, and you can smell the meth in the air. You know what I mean?
My God.
Because there's nothing to do. You've stranded people in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
You can
you've
just hear the
built
pills in
houses
the
and
bottle.
put walls around them, so there's no interaction. You know what I mean? You just drive down these streets, and they could be empty. You don't know. You can't see anyone interacting. There's some people walking, but
Yeah.
basically a bomb could have went up there 3 hours ago, and you'd never know. But it's the same when you go up into North Scottsdale, into those neighborhoods. Like the walls are all up. There's no
True.
people. You'll see like one person out walking a dog, and everybody else like, does anyone live here?
Everybody else looking through their blinds. Why is that person
Yeah,
outside?
way
Well,
outside.
and
Way
the-
outside.
Why are they out
Way on
front?
the street. What are you doing out there?
And those-
Don't you have a
Don't they have a
backyard?
yard?
And those neighborhoods also have all the rules where you can't park your car outside. It's
Right,
got to be
right,
in the
right.
garage. So you
Oh.
seriously, you could have a family of 5 in there, and you would never know unless you actually saw them coming and going.
Yeah, if you want a third car, you got to get rid of a kid. It's all those rules.
It's the whole thing.
Something like
It
that.
gets your kid's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I'm glad we don't have an HOA. I've just got a grumpy neighbor at the end of the street that
Oh,
I'm
but
picking fights with.
Yeah. How is the grumpy neighbor? You talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, about the
old guy-
tree fiasco?
No, was it the tree and
Have
then
we
also
reached
parking?
fiasco?
Yeah.
Tree and parking.
The tree and parking. Well,
Any new
trying to-
developments?
no, I'm just trying to decide how far to take it because I really could just park in front of my own damn house and piss him off.
Yeah.
That'd be fun too. But I've done nothing. No, he sent landscapers to cut my tree, and then he sent them back because they didn't cut it enough, and I sent the landscapers away, and we're at a standstill right now.
And the speech therapist you ran over?
No.
Still alive. Still alive. Yeah, she's doing good.
Stuttering going
Thoughts
on.
and prayers.
car
Thoughts
is-
and prayers.
Her car has been repaired.
Oh, good for that. That's
Yeah,
good.
that
Nice.
I have great insurance on my car.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all is well there, and it was repaired in no time and back before her next visit, I think.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
Yeah, I don't fuck around. Listen.
Yeah, well, I realize there are other people involved in this story, meaning body shops or whatever.
Yeah, but I have great insurance, so I called my people and I like filed the claim.
Listen,
and I,
people.
Right. And I
Listen to me, automotive people.
I turned it around and I sent the speech therapist the claim number and the person a call, and they sent her directly to a shop. She had a rental car that afternoon, and it was
Oh.
fixed.
Look at that.
Oh, and last week about bus expert, because that kind of came off wrong. So I would like to review that when I asked what someone had to do to become a bus expert. Aren't you just a mechanic or a bus inspector? Like, you know what
Well,
I mean?
no, because
Good question.
well,
That was my confusion, because if you knew someone like the person that's an expert are the ones that like
Perhaps they're bus historians.
fix and repair. I
Maybe
don't know.
there's different categories.
Yeah, because I was like,
I feel like there could be bus experts that are historians that know the history of the buses and the different like
Oh, that's
models
true.
and versions.
It
And
only
is.
then
read
there
them
are
in books.
the
Then there are the
idiosyncrasies.
mechanical people that know the difference between muffler bearings and blinker fluid,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You realize he had no idea what you just said.
or that they were both fake. I know.
a blinker fluid I knew was fake. Not stupid.
No, but like for example, certain things like the bus that I currently own has a Detroit diesel engine in it. Any diesel mechanic can work on a Detroit diesel engine. That's not specific. But the bus that it is in is specific to that make, model, year of that bus. So
But
it's,
that's what I meant about how does someone become an? Because I'm like, aren't you just a mechanic? Like, if I go to Checker, am I
So-
working with auto experts?
okay.
Well, I'm sure they would like to be called
So-
experts.
so-
that might be nice.
So I guess
That would be
I would
nice.
turn around and say, well, wouldn't you say you're a Donna Summer music
Oh no,
expert?
but we said that about yesterday. But there's no Donna Summer mechanics. You know what I mean? Like,
If there was, she'd still be with us.
yeah,
Well, there
she
should have been,
a
right?
better mechanic could
Pop
have kept
the
that
hood,
engine going. Yeah. No, and that was the whole point, was because I was like, I feel like we're missing something in that conversation, because it kind of bugged me for a couple
Well,
hours
I
afterwards.
wound
I'm
up
like,
having a.
Don't they already have a name
I actually had a phone call from the gentleman who sent
from
me.
the experts they called?
Well, actually, he very much is an expert. He is he's the gentleman that sold the bus to the woman that I bought it from, and he had been idly monitoring and viewing the storyline of
Stalking.
how it was the
Investigating.
storyline
They
of
call that
the
investigating.
the storyline of when she bought it and what all had happened. So he messaged me and he said, "Hey, if you'd like to know the real backstory to this, call me." And he gave me his number. We talked for about 45 minutes and about some things, and very, very enlightening when you get. I mean, there's two sides to every single story, I realize, but the timelines didn't add up, and it gave me a lot more information. So that was interesting. He's
Were there any shocking revelations that we should know about?
Any grandchildren you didn't expect to meet?
Oh, sure. Sure.
No, the storyline of how it was purchased, how it was presented to her, and her drive away and getting here, all very different. She had it here for 2 months and drove it around. Whereas the first story I got was we just rolled into town and it died. So two different. You know,
So
She
she
was partying.
ran it into the ground,
Twice
Yeah, no,
past the same
that's
giving
one.
her friends rides around the block.
something like that. Something happened that. And I haven't got all the documentation, but he knew the entire history of it. The guy that originally got it in the 90s and converted it and did all this other stuff. Do you remember, I'm not exactly connected to, but do you remember the music group Asleep at the Wheel?
Vaguely.
They were bigger in the 70s and 80s. The same guy, Ray, I can't think of Ray's last name. Same leader, been around forever. They're not connected to the bus other than the guy that used to own it bought their other bus and they've toured together.
Ray Benson,
Ray Benson, that's the one. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Ray Benson. Because I was actually hoping that this bus was connected to Asleep at the Wheel, connect directly, because they've just been around forever and ever and ever. But anywho, just phone calls, and again, it'd be just like somebody calling you up and having an incredibly amazing story about something that Donna Summer did that you never knew or never
Right.
had heard before. Or you with, I don't know, whatever you're into, Kat. It'd be,
Like Grey's Anatomy, 12 more episodes.
It's true.
that's right.
I'm glad we've been together these 5 years, Clayton, and you
No,
know
so
nothing
much
about
for-
me.
and whatever you might like.
You, sir, in the small chair.
You, sir, at the children's table.
Yeah. we don't hear from them often.
You,
at
sir,
this
down there.
very entertaining video.
Can't believe I've never tried this trick
Yeah.
before.
Oh, I have a question for you, Al. I have a question. Funny Girl,
Uh-huh.
the movie, Funny Girl.
Yep.
Streisand. It's not a biopic, is it?
Yes. Fanny
Fanny
Bryce.
Bryce.
It is a biopic.
About a real
Fanny
person.
Bryce. So it's Funny Lady. Same lady. A little
Yeah.
bit later.
Still funny.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Yep. True story of Fanny Bryce.
Don't tell me how to
True-ish.
live.
True-ish story.
Right.
Okay. But not. But would you? But would you really call it a biopic?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
I
a biography of Fanny Bryce.
did not know. I didn't know that was a real person. I just assumed this was another Streisand movie.
Nope, real person.
No, real person.
Okay.
Very, 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 very famous in her time. And the song "My Man" is actually Fanny Bryce's theme song. That was her main song. And for the Broadway show, they couldn't get the rights to it.
Oh.
So they wrote what I consider to be an even better song. And then when they did the movie, they cut the even better song because they now had the
Because they
rights
got my man.
Oh.
for My Man. So it ends with a live shot of her doing Fanny Bryce doing My Man. But she doesn't imitate Fanny. She's not imitating Fanny Bryce.
Got it. What was?
I mean, yeah, but she could be. In the second movie, she does more. In the second movie, they do a little bit more of her real stuff. They use real music of the period with some new music, and they really do some of her characters that she did on stage. And she's a big radio star. She was with you when you grew up in the radio. She was.
She was in that radio.
I'll have
She's
to
in the
look
same
for-
radio.
Don't you know her?
I'm looking down here.
Yeah.
This is really weird. It's funny. I did not realize it. Now, what was the song that they did that you said was better?
The music that makes me dance, because his is the only music that makes me dance, and it's terrific. Actually, they put two songs in there. One is called "Who Are You Now," because that show never stops. So you sing a lovely soft ballad that could easily be an 11 o'clock number in any other show, and then you just slam it home with the music that makes me dance. Yeah, all about her. Because the guy that produced it is Fanny's son-in-law, so they had to be very careful about how they portrayed. Fanny's son-in-law. So they had to be very careful how they portrayed Nicky Arnstein, Omar Sharif. They had to be very careful how they portrayed him because his daughter's husband was the producer. Like, her mom was Fanny Bryce, but her father was Nicky Arnstein, and they had to be very careful how they portrayed how bad he was to Fanny Bryce
Oh.
because that was her dad. So they couldn't be as
Kinda
honest
tap
as they
dance around that
They
a
had to
little
tap
bit.
dance a little way. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Good way to
okay.
say it.
Well, there's me looking.
Don't Rain on My Parade is definitely from Funny Girl. So it's all
Yes.
the thing that makes it weird is that it's all original music. The play, the original musical is all original music, and it was supposed to be an actor's play. Like, it was supposed to be Anne Bancroft as a vehicle for her, but then they just lost their goddamn minds writing that score, and like everyone was like,
No
"Who
one
the
can sing
fuck
it."
can sing this?"
Right.
Like, there's 35 goddamn songs, and they're all in the second act. Like, that's when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Right.
There's supposed to be two tap
There's supposed
numbers
to be a
done by the
little nap,
second
right.
lead. Yeah.
Two tap number.
There usually are.
You got a big number to come back from intermission. You got a little bit of a nap.
Climax
Climax
denouement,
finale
11 o'clock
applause.
song. Yeah, there you go. That song does not play by that show does not play by the rules.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, let's.
Why did that come up?
Last night in the trivia game, the final question was, the question was list the top 10. What was it? How was it worded? The top from Movie Mojo or whatever that website is. The top 10
Box Office Mojo.
Box Office Mojo. Top 10 most grossing
Highest
biopics
grossing.
or something. Highest grossing biopics of all time, and they gave you. There were 12 answers, but you had to hit 10 of them. And somebody had written that in, and it was not in the top 12, but they had written that in, and I was like, really? That's a biopic?
And adjusted for inflation, they're probably right. Like, I can look that up for you. But adjusted for inflation, I would imagine Funny Girl shoots way up the list. Because that movie stayed in theaters for like over a year.
No idea.
Like, It just made it to... It's now the third biggest R-rated horror movie of all time. And It #1 is the highest grossing horror movie of all time. But when you adjust for inflation and you do like how many people saw a movie,
Right.
there's still nothing in the same category as The Exorcist. Like, sure, in today's dollars, they made $220 million.
because each
but in
ticket's
1972,
But only 17 people had to see it to get
Yeah,
$220
but
million.
in 1972, in today's dollars, The Exorcist made $900 million.
Right.
Like, The Exorcist is up there with what they're doing with, like, Star Wars 9. This time it's personal. That's the kind of money that The Exorcist did back in the day.
Oh my God.
And I don't know why they don't compare ticket sales that way, like actual
They-
butts in seats. Like
But
everybody
you-
always talks about the dollars. Like
It would make more sense to see how
Talk
many
about
people.
butts
But
in
when you go to Box Office Mojo, it has adjusted for inflation.
I don't
So-
have the time.
okay.
I don't have the time.
You saying electric.
I'm very busy down here.
You just saying electric boogaloo or whatever you said.
Yeah.
I don't recall who it was, and I should have isolated it. But one of the anchors on MSNBC the other day, and it may have been Stephanie Rule. She tossed to somebody, and she was asking a question, and she then back. She had, well, it's the congressional hearing, blah blah blah. This time it's personal electric boogaloo, and I about fell over.
Oh, they listen to our show.
I was like, oh my God, they just lost
Holy
their mind
shit.
and said it on TV. This time it's personal. Are we going to do that in headlines? When are we going to talk about that?
I don't know. Whenever you want.
I asked.
Well, let's do it now.
And we said, I don't know. We'll get to it.
We have achieved the investigation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have impeachment.
We have yes the
inquiry.
The inquiry. That's what I was
I'm
looking
sorry.
for.
The impeachment
Inquiry.
Two I
inquiry.
words: impeachment inquiry. Those are the two I words. So we got there today. Somebody posted on Facebook. You smell that? That's the sweet smell of impeachment. Rosie O'Donnell filmed herself with her phone next to Nancy Pelosi on the TV screen. And then she's like, yes, tell him, Nancy, tell him. She's holding it. She goes, I never thought this would happen. Meanwhile, you hear Rosie's kids in the background playing or screaming or whatever the hell they do.
Whatever. All of the above, I'm sure.
All her children's.
Yeah. In a very short amount of time, that this has prompted me to delete Facebook from my phone.
Oh.
I've already unfriended 17 people today because I just don't have the patience.
Seriously, 17 people?
Honest to God, 17 people.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I reposted the Nancy Pelosi press conference.
Yeah.
And I've deleted all of their comments because I don't want to get into any of this nonsense.
Right.
Right, fair.
At all. And so every asshole that popped up that was like, oh, waste of our time and theirs, and oh, I don't know why they're bothering, and oh, I don't see what the big deal is. I was like, delete. And honest to God, Facebook is off of my phone. Do not Messenger still comes to my phone. You can send me messages.
Obviously, we've been messaging today about today's show.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
You can send me messages all day long, but as far as like general Facebooking, I feel like I'm done.
And I don't know if
forever.
there's probably a setting. What I would like to do is be able to post stuff. I'm sure there is, and you probably know this. Post something, and not one fucking person can post on
You
it.
can turn off comments, yes.
On specific posts?
I believe so, yes.
That's what I want to be able to get my opinion out, but you can't say a word.
I don't have the strength for it. I just don't.
I've actually backed out of posting a lot of stuff just because I don't care what you think, meaning the masses in general.
Right.
I just don't care what you think
I'm
anymore.
no longer
I
interested
realize
in your
that
opinion.
everybody has lost their fucking mind, and it's just
Yeah.
whatever. Nobody. I don't care if I said I love a calico cat. Oh my God, calico cats are terrible. That's all.
They kind of are.
So
Hang on a second. Wait, now that's a valid opinion.
I don't want to discount that point right off the top.
let me just correct you there, Clayton.
No. Oh, but I do like a meme that's going around that shows like 5. They're all the exact same dog. I think they're Labradors.
Sure.
There's a brown,
The
a
dumbest dog in the
black, a
world.
blonde, a puppet, a pirate, a poet. Like
Yeah.
all of them. And it says something about, aren't we all beautiful, or something that this is racism, or something about just showing that we're all the exact same. We're all different shades, but they're all the exact same dog.
All right.
There's like 5 dogs all together. I'll fight it.
Okay.
My points. I never make
But when it
points.
comes to cats,
We're not talking. You know what? I'm already tired of it. So we're gonna do this.
I'm already tired of it.
Let's move on to a segment where we read stories about other people fucking up their lives, not us. It's called Headlines on Q Talk America. Well, a man is fuming as his wife's sandwich has bitch written all over it.
Father of the Year.
Doing donuts.
Woman sparks apartment fire by burning love letters.
More fine examples of parents.
Oh.
Not on that page.
Using your phone in the bathroom is giving you hemorrhoids.
Holy guacamole.
I'm done.
Okay.
Al doesn't have another story.
And ghost caught on camera knocking food to the ground. Wow. I gotta pull up that video here in a minute. All right, kids, we're gonna be back in just 2.5 minutes with more stories right here on Q Talk.
Oh my God, is this not your mother's recipe?
Yes, and now I'm passing it on to you. So try to keep up.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the show, Q Talk America, Tuesday night. As we often do, we show up right here on your podcast or radio, web radio network, and bring you all the stories that we care about, the
You're
things that
welcome.
we do. And sometimes we interject you. Like, for example, I think Anana's going to give us a thoughtful vulgarity question. I see that in the chat room. Wonder what that's going to be about. Maybe about a
that's
scooter. Could be. You never know.
Oh, a scooter-related quiz.
Stick around and listen to see what thoughtful vulgarity question we have later on. Later on in hour 3. Oh, but right now we're going to do a little bit of headlines as we normally do. By the way, if you're looking for Marnie Ryer, she is out this week manning buckets where the rain is coming into her house.
The rain is literally on her parade.
Yeah, well, does she do parades inside the house now? Guess so.
Yeah,
Well, we've all been to Starbucks or a restaurant or any other place where they serve coffee or whatever, and the barista might just really butcher your name altogether.
coffee expert.
On a coffee expert. Could have that. They write it on a cup, and rather than
Caffeination expert.
cat, it might say cap or Val instead of Al. They get Mike Clayton. They don't even know what to do with that half the time, so I get all
You know
kinds
what
of things.
alleviates that problem?
What?
Ordering your coffee through the app.
Mine's always ready for Alfred.
Because then a little sticker pops out and they just slap it on the cup and they don't have to butcher my name anymore.
All right. Well,
I'll stand in line and I'll order it from the app just because they're annoying me. And then I just walk down to the end.
oh.
That's funny.
Because I'm like, yep, I'm sick of their shit.
That's
Because the
funny.
person in front of me, I just want to punch him in the back of the head. Because you know what I don't have? My coffee yet.
Oh, I see.
And you know who's in front of me? This bitch.
This. Hey, what was this story about?
Oh. Side note, Side note, I'll tell you for that. I was in line the other day getting. Well, that was one thing that happened this past week. The title got changed over for the bus to me, all legal,
mazel
all
tov.
done, yada yada. But as
Is
I
it a
was
boy or a girl?
as I was in line, waiting, your little line over there in the MVD. This one guy did not bring enough time or patience with him, and he's behind, like he's got a whatever paper, and he's doing this, and he's like, every time somebody would get done in line, oh come on, get up, go, move, come on, I wish you all to hurry. He was fucking jonesing bad. So
Meth and the MVD, DMV do not mix.
we got all the way to the end, and finally, well, besides also there was I had already decided in my head which one of the people where I wanted to get helped by. It was not a guy, but he was right behind me. I said, you know what? You go ahead. You've been jonesing for about half an hour to get up here. I said, you go. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. And he just took his little clipboard and he ran up there. I was like, geez, you need to calm the hell down. I wish you could do it online for him. Anywho, so back to my story.
Oh, cool.
Getting your name butchered by anybody who writes your name down anywhere you get food. But have you ever ordered a sandwich only for it to proclaim that your wife is a bitch on it? One man. Well,
One time.
Let's take it. Let's take a look.
Just
This lovely couple. This lovely couple went to a
aren't they charming?
went to a Jimmy John's restaurant, and the husband happened to notice when he recently found himself in his awkward position when the sandwich he ordered for his wife appeared to have the rude word bitch written on it. However, after demanding answers, the guy soon found out that the message wasn't quite initially what he thought it was. So cut to picture. Here's the sandwich. See? Got that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, Robert Wilson Barnes thought his eyes were deceiving him.
BLT chicken.
Cheese. You're
Exactly.
close, but cheese.
No, actually, I think it is. Well, I don't know if it's cheese or chicken,
cheese.
whichever one. Robert Wilson Barnes thought his eyes were deceiving him when he glanced at the food order received from Jimmy John's drive-thru. The South Carolina man had ordered sandwiches for himself and his wife Colleen. Only hers had come with an offensive insult written on the packet. Now, the guy stormed into the restaurant asking to speak to the manager about the fact that his wife's food featured the word bitch, only for a confused staff member to explain that the letters on the sandwich simply meant that his wife had ordered a BLT with cheese. In a Facebook post, Barnes explained the hilarious mix-up. He said, quote,
Hilarious.
My wife took her sandwich out of the bag to see this. Seriously. Oh, not today. Not today, the post said. Says they went back to the restaurant, went inside, already fuming, asked to speak to the manager, and then got the explanation.
They all laughed.
And it was all very funny. So many people found the story hilarious that the husband's post went viral, garnering over 105,000 likes and 74,000 shares.
I'd like the bitch sandwich, please.
Could I please get
It sounds delicious. Listen, a BLT with cheese. I
gonna
can't.
say no?
I can't believe it's never occurred to me to put cheese on a BLT before in my life.
I've also had them with chicken.
If we're
Why
gonna
wouldn't
call
you?
it a
Well,
bitch
at
sandwich,
that point, it's a club.
It's a club, right?
well, when you had the
And,
chicken,
and
sure.
isn't that delightful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that why God made green
my
bananas
new
or whatever the
sandwich.
fuck that expression is?
Where was that? Jimmy John's? Can I have the bitch sandwich, please?
Yeah.
Actually, that would be funny if they
Wouldn't that be
actually just
great?
adopted that and said, "Would you like a bitch?"
Yeah.
Yes.
That
yes,
would be
I
fun. That'd be fun.
It's like a this bitch sandwich.
Speaking of a bitch
We'll call it
sandwich,
Colleen. It's the Colleen. Can I get a Colleen? That's her name. The Colleen on rye.
So on the, I'll just interrupt you for a story.
Please do.
Shocking.
So
We got time.
we're driving home and we're coming from the bachelorette party, and we were in two cars. So it was the bride and a friend, and we're driving along, and she's talking about writing her own vows, and like they're talking about like stealing stuff off Pinterest and like how hard it is to write something down. And she gave them to for someone to read, and the person called back and said, "Have you read this out loud yet?" And
Not
she
so
was
good?
like, "Oh, okay, good. Good note. I'll try to read it out loud to see because it flows better."
Sure.
And I'm like, "What? You need a thesaurus? You call him that motherfucker over there too many times?" And we just got the biggest kick out of all the things that might possibly be in her vows. How many times he called her a cunt?
Oh God.
So this cunt.
I do, and she did, and we are.
Exactly.
Can we
Fuck
move
it,
this
let's
along?
do
I
it.
For
got-
better
I
or
got
for worse,
shit to do.
occasionally anal. You know, we just had
Wait,
so
what
much.
did I agree
Yeah,
to?
exactly. We had so much fun with what might possibly be in vows when left to your own devices.
Oh.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now it's like to read your vows. Okay. I'll just wait here.
Kitty Cat Carlson, what you got?
Speaking of nothing, I got no segue here. I've got nothing because an Instagram video showing a father
Showing Katie June.
Katie June, right?
showing Katie June talking about Clayton McKee has mysteriously disappeared.
Oh my God!
Sources are unclear
The
if the
heartache.
video ever existed in the
Right.
first
The
place.
heartache is horrible.
Oh, the suffering.
Oh, speaking of suffering, an Instagram video showing a father completing a bungee jump while holding his 2-year-old daughter
Oh,
freaked me the fuck out and is also the subject of serious flack online. In the
Yeah.
footage, this is the video that I sent you.
Oh yeah, play that right away.
In
Oh,
the footage,
Hang on, I thought this was later, not
no,
now.
now later.
Now
Oh.
later.
Hang on, we're not there yet.
I've got something to read, so you do your thing and I'm going to do mine.
Got it. We'll all do our.
We're going to work simultaneously. It's going to be great.
And at the
In
same
unison. In the footage, Retta Roslin, a Malaysian reality star, is shown standing on
Aren't
a
we
bridge.
all really?
We all.
He pats his 2-year-old daughter's back reassuringly as a man yells 3, 2, 1, and then suddenly, without warning, the pair is pulled backwards off the bridge, and the little girl, understandably, holds on fucking tight
No,
Yeah.
for dear life.
For life, yes.
for life. It's enough to turn an adult's legs to jelly, let alone a small child, not to mention the endangering of said small child, which I'm pretty sure should be illegal everywhere. While Michaela's father argues she was wearing a safety harness and correct, quote, gear, she was shown completing the jump without a helmet. I would think that'd be important gear. I don't know. I'm also not taking my children bungee jumping anytime soon.
Well, no, they won't even talk to you. Why-
Regardless of how annoying they are, I'm not going to fling them off a bridge. In response to a torrent of abuse charges, online and otherwise, the dad was forced to defend his actions. Chill, guys, he wrote. Good parenting, dude.
Yeah.
This
Way
is-
to go. He says, don't try this with your kids if your kids aren't ready for this. Or at all, dummy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I almost don't want to play this because it's already making me nervous just looking
It's
at
crazy, isn't it? I know. Play the video.
it. Here
Play
we-
the video.
Play that beautiful bean footage.
This shit happened.
Oh, well, play, you dumb summage.
Hit the right button, you dumb son of a bitch.
Okay, ready.
Okay, go.
That kid's not strapped in any way.
No.
No, absolutely not. That is
that
bullshit
crazy
right
town?
there. That
Crazy
is
town.
not. So what charge? Does he have charges filed against him? I missed that part.
Well, they're not in the United States, so it's a whole different legal system.
Okay.
The father's trying to say that the child was not coerced into the act. She loved it and really wants to go again. A child rights lawyer says that the child's parents had lacked proper parental judgment by letting her complete such an act.
You think?
Yeah.
Well,
And the bungee jump operator. I'm sorry, you can't do this, sir. Where is that?
So according to Free Malaysia Today,
I like that they put a helmet on him, but yeah.
but the kid will be fine.
But the human
they,
sacrifice is fine.
they bounce.
Exactly.
They
They
bounce.
bounce. Oh, God.
They say that action can be taken under the Child Act, and the dad and the company can be charged for endangering the child's life.
Jeez, Pete, that's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Agreed. That's.
I thought I was doing a crappy job parenting. Shit like this makes me go, I'm doing okay, right? But then the internet, and I feel better about my life.
I guess I would feel somewhat. Well, actually, I couldn't really tell. He was just holding on. I'm guessing there was no strap of her to him.
So he claims that she was like strapped to him.
Okay.
I don't know. I was
Because you couldn't see. I couldn't see that from that video, but I would be
No.
curious. I would feel better about it if I knew that for sure.
like a tandem kind of a thing.
Right, like when you jump out of an airplane. But again, they usually don't let children do
Don't-
that. It's
they
adults.
don't let children do that. No, you have to be over 18.
Oh, you do?
Well,
Okay.
in the United States, you have to be over 18 or at least 16 with a parent.
That's
Yeah, they don't just let
wow. That's a little,
2-year-olds
that's
jump out of
unnerving.
airplanes. That's not a thing that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what'd be fun, Daddy?
It's bad for business.
Yeah.
Dead bodies at the bottom of your ride.
Well,
Traditionally.
dead children are the worst.
Yeah.
Adults, meh.
Yeah.
You get some waivers signed and you be all right. You sweep that under the rug. But dead children, not good for business ever.
How long is that? How long is that parachute going to take us to the scene of the crash?
Yeah.
Which is handy because that's where the paramedics are going to meet us. Go ahead, Alfie.
So, let's see. What a difference a few weeks has made for one New Jersey man. Richard McEwen was arrested on August 30th after he allegedly broke into Taylor Swift's beachfront mansion in Rhode Island. I've been to the outside. It's lovely. I would break
Okay, all right.
McEwen, who was barefoot at the time officers apprehended him, was charged with breaking and entering and willful trespassing and later released on a $5,000 bond. However, if that arrest was intended to serve as a wake-up call to him, he apparently did not get the memo. On Monday, McEwen was charged with criminal mischief, my favorite, after he allegedly drove his car on President Trump's golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey, and did donuts on the greens. Police said McEwen has driven his vehicle onto the greens twice in the last week, the 3rd and the 8th. In the process, he left circles on 2 different putting greens, causing at least $17,000 in total damage. Who's paying for that, do you think? McEwen has been released pending a future court date, but a spokeswoman for the Trump organization said he will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
That was quite the pause. That was quite the pause.
I find it
was.
delightful. The screen went away.
I thought that was for dramatic effect.
That's what I thought,
I was
too.
very
I was
impressed.
waiting.
Edge of my seat.
I like him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to drive up on that lawn and spin around a
Do
couple
some
times.
donuts on the
Yeah, I'm going to
screen.
do my business.
I'm sure we'll somehow get stuck with that. I'm going to guess. Who knows? Okay. Police in Lincoln, Nebraska said the woman left some burnt letters on the floor before taking a nap. When she awoke, the carpet was on fire. It seems that the love was a little too hot to handle.
Hey.
Police in Lincoln say 19-year-old woman sparked her fire on Monday by burning letters from her ex in her bedroom. Police say the woman used a butane torch to burn the letters and left some of them on the floor. She then went to another room to take a nap because that's just what you do.
You know
Listen,
what?
once you burn the letters, you're exhausted. You gotta
Right.
go take a little nap.
Police
I want to be fresh when he comes home to read my letter.
Police say she awoke a short time later to find the carpet on fire.
And fuego.
Fuego! Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire within minutes. Officials say the fire caused an estimated $4,000 in damage to the building. No one was injured. The woman was cited for negligent burning.
It's a little overkill. You don't need a torch for that. Like, it's just letters.
It's all
A
she
match
had.
would do.
It's
A
all
match
she
would
had.
do.
All she had.
One little match. You could do it dramatically. You throw it in the metal trash can.
I guess didn't say
You
she's
sing burn one time, you're
she's
fine.
a welder. She had a torch. I have no idea. Making up
Oh,
shit.
I do like.
You
if
might
she
I like a
remember
lady
her.
welder.
If
I
she only
do
had
like
a,
a
if
lady
she only had a
welder.
sparker,
We've all seen Flashdance. You know what I mean? What a We've all been to Pittsburgh.
We've all got places to be.
we all got places to go.
You know, it's my favorite stripper movie based in Pittsburgh.
Oh. It's a very unique category. I'd like to see the other
It's a
contenders.
niche. It's a very
exactly.
niche.
It's my favorite dance movie about abortion.
About an abortion, right?
I mean, Cabaret's up there. I don't want to take it away, but
You're not wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of dance
the
movies
last
about
time
abortion,
I danced about abortion, yeah.
I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
Tippecanoe County, Indiana.
Of course it is.
Tippecanoe and Tyler, too. A couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter say the allegations are false and that they are victims. Clearly,
they are.
according to court documents filed earlier this month in Tippecanoe County, Christine and Michael Barnett adopted a Ukrainian-born girl with dwarfism in 2010, but they abandoned her in Lafayette in 2013 when they moved to Canada.
Oh.
You think sad, but it's about to get strange.
Oh, sad and strange.
Sad and strange. They're accused of changing the girl's
Two
age
things.
from 8 to 22 before they left, and they told the girl to tell other people that she looks young for her age.
Oh my gosh.
But wait, it gets stranger. They're both charged with neglect of a dependent, and they bonded out, or they posted bail. But an interview with the Daily Mail, a renowned source of journalism,
Journalistic
Yeah.
integrity right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Christine says that the adoption was a scam, and the girl is actually an adult who has made a career out of fooling people into thinking
That's
she's
that
a
movie
child.
Orphan. That's the plot to
Is
Orphan.
it really?
Oh
Maybe
my
it's
God.
based on a true story.
Well, it is, but not that story.
Not this story. Well, Christine told the Daily Mail that she and her now ex-husband,
I hope I didn't ruin the movie Orphan for me.
spoiled
I know
forever,
there was a movie called
Forever.
Orphan. Go ahead.
They agreed to an emergency adoption from an adoption center in Florida. They didn't know many details about the girl's background. They just knew she needed a home immediately
Immediately.
because her previous adoptive parents gave her up for undisclosed reasons. Dun dun dun.
Gosh. or whatever horror story that is.
Yeah.
going on over here.
Within the first few weeks, Christine told the Daily Mail that there were signs that their new daughter wasn't actually a young girl. She had a sophisticated vocabulary,
She had a pack of Territons.
Shun-
She came with
shunned
her own
children,
case of beer.
drank vodka for breakfast. Well, they took the girl to the doctor,
Yeah,
took
the
her to a
sitcom in the
family
80s.
physician. They ordered bone density tests to help determine her actual age, because remember, this girl suffers from dwarfism.
Mm-hmm.
Might be hard to tell how old they are. Little people all the time. The results suggested she was at least 14. Now, she's been sold as 8.
Oh,
She's at least 14. So Christine says that their family began treating her as a teenager.
okay. Seems
Sure. Yeah. Your bones say you're 14, then I'll
You're
go
on
with
your
that.
own, kid.
Get a job. But
My
then,
bone says you're
but then
Wow.
there's more.
Oh, but wait.
But wait, there's more.
Uh-huh.
Christine says that the girl started making death threats against them and allegedly tried to poison her now adoptive parents and push her into an electric fence. Then she attacked a baby. This dwarf is out of control.
Wow.
Don't kick the baby.
Out of hand. Well, the Barnett family took the girl to a state-run psychiatric unit to get help. During treatment, the girl allegedly confessed to being much older and said that she wanted to kill her family. Oh, sure.
Are we still on the orphan storyline?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a horror movie.
Okay.
So I mean, so far so good. You adopted someone very troubled, got him to, seek help and all of these things. So they got the doctor's report that says that the Barnett's daughter is actually an adult. The letter says that the girl has made a career of perpetuating her age facade and has continued to fool those who have the best of intentions. So then they went and legally changed the girl's age in 2012, went to the courthouse, said, nope, this is her real age, change all the documentation, whatever. They helped her get a social security number, apply for benefits, food stamps, get an ID. Then in August, they discharged her from the psychiatric hospital and thinking, okay,
We're
adult,
done.
We're done. We're good.
Wow.
I know.
And then they found her in the picture.
I know. Well, but now, years and years later, the parents are being charged with abandoning the adult child.
How?
I'm reading more.
Do. Get right back to me, Rose.
All right. So in 2012, she was discharged from the secure psychiatric care, and then she was placed under the supervision of state healthcare provider Aspire, Indiana. Seems like a legit facility. Then she was kicked out of that facility. Christine, the adoptive mother, says that they helped secure housing for her in Lafayette. They paid for her housing, and then they moved to Canada for their son's education. Apparently, there's another child. It doesn't say if he was adopted or not.
He's really 70. Yeah.
He's really 70. He's now 21,
His name's
apparently.
Benjamin Button, yeah.
He's a physics prodigy. There's not a lot of those.
Okay.
And Canada needed one of those, so the entire family
Canada was one shy.
moved to Canada so he could attend the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics in Waterloo, Ontario.
Oh,
Waterloo.
lovely.
Waterloo.
While in Lafayette, the 8 to 22-year-old dwarf girl attended classes at the Lafayette Adult Resource Academy.
God damn.
What, 18 to 20-year-old
No, it's
dwarf
just
girl too much?
it's just that
I know.
line. You don't
So-
hear that every day.
So here's what we got. We've got 18 to 21-year-old dwarf is going to college in Lafayette. Jacob, the physics prodigy, is needed in Canada.
Yeah.
I lost my place. Wait.
It's not far from Niagara Falls, the Waterloo.
That's true. So then the girl drops out of college, just stops going to class one day. Court documents obtained by this reporting agency show she was evicted from her apartment in 2014. But then...
She's an adult, for God's sake.
Right, but then Christine says she vanished and stopped returning her calls. She fears that she stopped taking her medication and is posing as a child for another family.
Bet she is.
I don't blame her. She says, I would have forced her back into treatment, but I couldn't do any of that any longer because she was no longer an adult. In 2016, a couple applied to become the girl's guardians, but the Barnetts filed an objection, and that's where the court case comes back together.
That is
Because
crazy.
somebody else has applied to be her guardian because...
So I wonder what her what's her MO? Like, what does she get out of this? Being just people support her because they think she's an 8-year-old or a
Yeah,
10-year-old.
she gets to
that's,
be
that's
Right.
it.
fed and
being
clothed
taken care of.
and treated like a child and bedtime and
Weird. People have weird things that they like to do.
Yeah.
That's
So,
weird.
so now the
And then no one looks at her strange because she's only supposed to be 8, so then she's the right size.
yeah. So somebody else applied for guardianship for this girl who's supposed to be an adult, and now her supposedly most recent adoptive parents are being charged with abandoning her
because they just found out
because
too.
right. Crazy.
Creepy.
I know that was a long journey, but
No, it was worth it.
it was a lot.
A long
A
journey
lot.
into
Next time
night.
I catch an orphan on cable, I'm going to be like, ooh.
I'm gonna have to go find it now.
I think it's Vera Farmiga.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
I have the internet.
So,
Do
Google knows.
you?
Google knows.
Placido Domingo cuts ties with the Met
Who?
amid sexual misconduct claims. So the show will not go on at the Met Opera for Placido Domingo. The opera star will not be performing his role in Macbeth in the Met's production of the Verdi classic and will not perform any production at the venue again, bringing to an end a professional relationship that began in 1968.
Wow.
The Metropolitan Opera confirms that Placido Domingo has agreed to withdraw from all future performances, effective immediately. The Met and Mr. Domingo are in agreement that he needed to step down. The Met has no further comment at this time. His image was removed from the Macbeth page, and he will not be in the performance of Madame Butterfly set for November. He strongly disputes recent allegations made about himself and is concerned about a climate in which people are condemned without due process. Upon reflection, though, he believes his appearance in the production would distract from the hard work of his colleagues, both on stage and behind the scenes, and he is asked to be withdrawn from the production. And they graciously agreed to let Happy Hands out. At the age of
Wow. Okay.
I like when we ad lib a story.
yeah,
Really good.
maybe slightly editorial. I'm happy that at the age of 78 he is able to sing the wonderful little title role, not little, in the dress rehearsal of Macbeth, which I consider my last performance on the Met stage. He's grateful to God and the public for what they have allowed me to accomplish here at the Metropolitan Opera.
He's 78.
Multiple accusations of sexual misconduct, which he has disputed and said were ridiculous, riddled with inconsistencies. In August, the AP reported that 9 women detailed alleged incidents of sexual harassment that took place over 3 decades beginning in the late 80s. In September, 11 more people came forward with allegations that included verbal harassment and groping. CNN was unable to verify their accounts, but due to the ongoing investigation, we strongly dispute the misleading picture that the AP is attempting to paint of Mr. Domingo. So, I don't know. I think you.
I think the title of that article should have been "Me Too Hits the Met."
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
look at
I
you
know.
with alliteration, too. I
Oh.
like that.
Good riddance, I say. Good riddance.
I had never heard anything about him before like that. Had you?
No, but I mean, I don't. He's not somebody that I really cared what he did when
Right.
he got off the
Me
stage.
either.
Yeah.
But I just like, you know, you were some people that you'd hear in the 80s that were like big hullabaloos about him. Then it died off and it was dead for 25 years. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
one person pops back up, and I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that. But I don't recall hearing anything about old Placido. Nada. Well,
All hands.
being glued to your phone
hands.
is certainly not an
Placido is Spanish for all hands.
it is not.
It is now.
Being glued to your phone is certainly not an uncommon trait these days, and in these modern times, whether we care to admit it publicly or not, we have all taken our phone to the bathroom with us to help us pass the time, if you will. But
true.
this tempting habit could cause you serious health problems, doctors are warning. In particular, they said it could give you hemorrhoids. I'm not exactly sure how you're answering your phone, sir, but there's a problem.
I think you're doing it wrong.
The problem can originate from sitting on the throne too long,
Oh, yeah.
which scrolling through your phone may sadly only encourage you to do. It is particularly concerning news as 57% of British people, this is a British story, admitted to using their phones on the toilet in a recent YouGov survey. And 8% said that they always do it. So you might want to do some research on your own. If you are a sitter and scroller, you might want to look
Hit
at
it and quit it.
Yeah, get in, get off, go home.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I've actually recently purchased a book for that purpose to go back to the old reading in the bathroom as opposed to the phone in the
But
bathroom.
don't you stay there the same amount of time?
Well, hopefully not, because I chose a book.
Hopefully not.
I chose a book on martinis that is like a recipe and an anecdote, and a recipe and an anecdote.
got
It's
it.
so short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Enough entertainment
Short shit stories.
to occupy your mind while you have to be there.
I see it.
But not so much entertainment that people start looking for you in the house, wondering if you've left, which is what the phone does to you
Which really,
sometimes.
what makes more sense, just text her.
Yeah.
Right.
She's got it in her hand already.
More than once have I found that I've been in the bathroom maybe too long, and all of a sudden there are people yelling my name throughout my house.
Are you okay?
Right, Kat? Did
you-
you leave? Did you go to work?
Have you fallen?
No, I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
Another good reason to take that shit off my phone. But no, I did. I purposely, like, I saw the book. I don't remember where.
In your
Must
bathroom.
Well, no, I must have read an article or something about it that
Most
prompted me
recently.
to purchase said book. I purchased said book, and then I thought this would be a great one to put in the bathroom because I used to keep books in the bathroom back before everybody had a phone in their fucking pocket.
Are you
That's
thinking
what
about?
it's what magazines are
Right,
for.
magazines,
Well, yeah.
books, whatever. I would put like little joke books in there, or maybe a Reader's Digest, if you will.
Are you thinking about becoming a bartender?
I'm thinking about it. It seems like a lively enterprise.
It's out there.
You
It's
got
out
nothing
there.
else to do, really. My
I mean,
God.
it's virtually economy proof. It's a recession proof industry.
people drink if
still
they're happy.
fucking
They
drink,
drink
right?
if they're depressed.
Oh, we've
Not
all been
kidding.
at that conference.
Not kidding.
Perfect, Ginny. Perfect assholes don't poop and scroll. Come on. I mean, your phone doesn't go there. Come on.
You need one of those squatter toilets so you're not sitting
The
in that
squatty
Squatty
potty.
potty.
squatty potty. Yeah.
Well, Ross Matthews swears by it. He promotes it on his little Instagram or Facebook, whatever the hell he's doing.
That
I
is
think he makes money by doing that, though.
Does.
that is his business.
Literally.
Business about
Fair.
doing the business.
Fair.
There is that.
Well, here's some business for you.
Go more business, Kat Carlson.
A flap involving an avocado and a middle finger wound up sending a 56-year-old woman to the slammer.
Oh.
That's true.
Is there a picture?
The 72-year-old woman identified as the victim told Port St. Lucie police on September 13th that she was watching television on the couch when her 56-year-old roommate got upset because she allegedly ate all the sliced up avocado in the refrigerator.
That bitch.
No, it's a BLT with cheese.
Oh.
The 72-year-old
She ate
woman
that too.
said the 56-year-old woman yelled about the missing avocado before the 72-year-old woman showed her the middle finger. An avocado is a pear-shaped fruit with a green skin and large seed in the middle that grows on trees. Known as alligator pears, avocados are high in monosaturated fat and feature prominently in guacamole, in case you were wondering what the fucking avocado was.
This is a very complete article.
Now, in case you're wondering what the finger is,
Where does the finger come in? In the butt, Bob.
In the butt,
in
yeah.
case you're wondering what showing the middle finger is, well, displaying your middle finger typically is interpreted as a derogatory gesture. It can be made with the right or left hand and is often
Either one.
used
You can
to
double barrel it,
escalate
too.
a situation.
Mo.
In contemporary parlance, the gesture is called the bird and is paired with verbs flip, flick, shoot, or give. Moving on with the story, our 72-year-old
I
woman
love all the ways in which
I
a
love-
bird can be.
Flipping the bird.
flicking the bird,
Flicking
giving
the
the bird,
giving
showing
the-
the bird,
wow.
shoot the
I
bird.
think I can go with flicking the bird. That
I don't
sounds
even
like
know.
it went somewhere else. That's how it
That's what
ended
you
up
do
in
to
her butt,
boogers.
Bob.
You
Yeah.
flick 'em. Moving on with the drama, the 72-year-old woman said that while she was on the couch, her roommate threw something at the wall behind her, and it also hit her in the face. Police found a, quote, green substance that looked like avocado remains on the wall.
They must have got there in a hurry because that turns brown quick.
For real. The 56-year-old woman was eating her burger meat and avocado from a plastic container when the police spoke to her. She said that she had prepared sliced avocado and told her 72-year-old roommate not to eat it all. She says she threw an avocado at the wall behind the 72-year-old woman. The end.
Wow.
So it wasn't that they were out of avocado. It's just she ate the slice,
She
the
ate the
pre-sliced.
sliced
Oh,
avocado
what in
and
the
got
hell?
arrested for throwing an avocado
What is this?
at a
coming to?
72-year-old woman.
72 and how? 72 and 56? What is it?
Yes, 72 and 56.
First of all, what are these lesbians doing? I assume that the roommates
Eating avocados. That's what they're doing.
somehow Marge got upset
It's a very Golden Girls kind of a thing here.
Well, that
It really
does. Rose and Blanche had
I would
Right.
believe it more if there was a cheesecake in the
Rose
story.
sliced the avocados.
Hey, just take out.
Blanche
take out,
ate the avocados.
Avocado.
Rose finally lost her goddamn mind. Threw an avocado right at Blanche.
Lost her
God damn. God. Ah,
Avocados everywhere.
crazy.
So they started to impeach the president.
I
Yeah.
heard. It's good.
Inquiries have been made
All 6 committees have been instructed
to act
to
under
proceed.
one umbrella.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
proceed with their investigations.
Under the umbrella of inquiry.
Yeah.
Inquiry. I like how they're
I
all
prefer
saying.
inquiry.
Yeah, but they all keep saying inquiry on the TV.
Because they're stupid.
I think that's
so
an accent issue.
So aside from the inquiry, you got another story
Nope.
right now. All right, let me wrap this up with this one. Spooky moment: ghost was caught on a closed caption TV at a gas station over in Ireland, I believe. The ghostly encounter happened at Toilson's Service Centre in Cork, Ireland, after it closed last Wednesday, which was on September 11th, according to the Irish Mirror newspaper. And the baffled owner of the service center, which is eerily located between 2 funeral homes, has released footage of what they're calling a shocking incident. Closed circuit TV clips show a pack of rice cakes mysteriously flying off a shelf and a fruit basket falling off the top of a hot food counter. The video has left thousands of viewers questioning the suspected paranormal activity. Apparently, there was another clip released showing the view behind the counter, where a number of people say that they could see a woman in the clip, but it has been denied by the owner. I was going to show you what this clip looks like and see if we can, if you see what, do you see what I see? So let's see if we go here, watch the video.
I'm watching.
So you see something there now about we got a little ways in here, and then you're going to see something fall off the top of the counter.
Is this in high def?
No, it's a shitty clip TV. So watch like above the
All right.
top, and then you're gonna see something fall. Like that take comes off.
Oh my gosh.
So he's saying, see that image that's in the video in the middle there? He's saying that that's a ghostly image of something. I don't know if it's just a camouflage moo that somebody's got on. I don't know what it is, but apparently something else happens in this video that they see, but it's way down the.
I'm convinced.
I don't know.
It's a ghost.
Sold.
But a gas station between 2 funeral homes. So Google that if you want to. You can find out more information about that. Just Google the closed caption TV petrol station Ireland. You'll figure it all out. It all works out together. It's all there. Let's where's my clicker? Where's my thing? Let's do this. Al, I think you're ready. Are you ready? You want to do it?
Sure.
Here we go. Let's see what happens when I do this.
We have my voice is gone. We have a movie review. We've got a TV show to watch and enjoy. The finale of So You Think You Can Dance to chat about, and the Emmy Awards were on,
I haven't recorded.
and
I figured Al would tell me about them.
All right. Well, but I recorded in case I need to go back and review something.
I now count on you for
yes.
the Emmys. And
So
the Oscars.
we'll go through a little.
We're all
a little
counting on it,
Emmy.
aren't
We
we?
did the Shmemmys last week. We'll do the
Yeah.
Emmys this week.
All right, we're going to come back and talk about the Emmys and whatever else we want to. It's our show. Stick around.
Hey girl, you okay?
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Oh my gosh, we are here. We're back. It's the show. It's Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Ket Carlson and Al Perkins. We make up the cast tonight because Marnie Ryer took the night off to deal with some inbound rain in her house. She's got some flood damage she's dealing with.
Good job.
But I guess she said more's coming tomorrow. I guess it's raining again.
Allegedly, we have a 50% chance of rain tomorrow.
Well, bless.
That was Hurricane Lorena that we were enjoying. I don't know what's coming next. But that was the remnants of a hurricane.
Well, she let us have it.
She did a great job. I'm
did a
proud
great
of her.
job. Help her out some more. I actually have to go down to the end of the block and clean all the stuff off the grate that has accumulated that's stopping water flow because I don't want it to flood again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go do that later tonight or tomorrow. I'll go clean it because seriously,
Very exciting.
if it blocks that, the water just fills in the street.
Sure.
Boys and girls, you've reached the time of the show where we get to hear Al Perkins talk about entertainment. That's now.
And, yeah, okay. And hello, Bridget is joining us.
Oh, hi, Bridge.
She's in the other
In
chat
the
room.
YouTube chat room.
So we'll start with the finale of So You Think You Can Dance, which I think was on last week, but I just finally got around to it. And the little boy, I cannot think of what his name was. God bless him.
I can't help you here.
That's gonna drive me crazy. But anyways, you knew he was gonna win the entire time. He was making people cry left and right. He was a terrific dancer. I feel like his name is Bailey. Yeah. So this guy Bailey, Filipino, born prematurely, is barely 5 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And is a street performer in Las Vegas with just tons and tons of heart and just a real stage presence. And then he ended up, even though he's a beat boy or a b-boy or whatever the word is they use for that kind of dancing, he just excelled in every style and was just so much fun to watch and had such a crush on the girl that they paired him with, who was about 5 feet tall, and she was a movie star. Like, it is very rare when you see someone, I think we talked about her a couple weeks ago, when someone that the camera just loves.
You did mention
Like,
that, yeah.
every time she looks at the camera, you're like, oh my God, you should be a star. Let's say her name was Mariah, because I think that's right. Then technically the best dancer of the four was this guy, Gino, and he was just a beautiful dancer. But there was just no competing with this Bailey kid. I mean, seriously, like, Kat Deely was, like, openly crying, introducing him sometimes. Like, it was so lopsided. No one even dreamed there was a way they could win.
Right.
And I put a link in the chat room because I know that we can't play it on here, but they do, the top three boys do a dance to Amen. That is one of the most beautiful pieces of choreography I've ever seen. And at the finale show, they usually go back and have them perform like their favorite numbers again. So each judge will pick a favorite performance from the season for the dancers to do. Sometimes they just play the recording of it because these 10 people can't do all of these dances. So some of them, they'll play the recording and kind of fake the staging. Although I've been led to believe that they perform them before the show starts because the choreographers are in the audience. So instead of playing a clip, they just showed it out of order.
Okay.
So that they did perform it. And they're all going to be on tour. Sophie was the fourth dancer, but it's the top three boys. So it's those three in this absolutely...
It is Mariah Russell. That's her name.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The top four boys were so ridiculously attractive. And the Bailey one, he's a little pocket person. So probably could be adopted as 8 years old for the rest of his life.
Apparently there's a market for that.
Apparently there is.
But the other three, and Gino, and I think his name was Ezra, and I cannot remember what the other, Benji. So beautiful, this Latin guy with this curly mop of gorgeous hair, and they were always doing fun stuff with his hair. And then when they would like take the braids out, he would just have this gorgeous mane of hair, and I'm like, oh my God, and this body that didn't stop.
What's his
And
name?
Sure.
I think his name was Benji. I'd have to look at all who was in the.
that can't be.
But there was a famous, Benji.
No, Benji comes up all over this place, but I don't think that's the. It looks like a white kid. I'm looking for. This is a shot. This is Mariah and
Yeah, that's
And
the kid
Bailey.
Bailey that won. And that's the thing. Like, she's just gorgeous. And they're both barely.
They're little people.
They're little people.
5 people.
But I am going to. Let's see.
Find his name.
Let me find the top 10, and you can find a picture of him. And then my boy Robert Roldan has decided to become a choreographer now. He is no longer going to be an all-star dancer. He's just going to be behind the screen scenes, and I was very, very sad.
Oh.
Stimulating radio for all of you out there. I understand.
I know.
good.
I just wanted to find this cute boy's name so you could all drool
Oh,
over him.
I've already found him. It's got to be this kid. Well, maybe not.
What is the name?
Well, the one is Ezra, but what's this guy's name?
I don't know. I just saw a picture. No, it's the same season.
Yes.
Oh, what the hell is his name? Hang on. I gotta keep scrolling. I don't know where the hell.
Oh, that's the wrong.
It's a cute kid though.
Well, show it to me.
Well, I can't. It's hard. I can't show him on this screen. You said he has a lot of hair though.
Yes.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know about that.
We're really winning the radio game.
We
this
are.
week here,
I
guys.
know.
Oh, wait a minute. It's this kid.
Oh, this kid
Hang
that
on,
the
I
radio people still
realize-
can't see.
Hang on. I realize it's not.
Does he have a name?
Well, he
Yeah,
probably-
Benjamin Castro. His name is Benjamin Castro. Google that, find his picture.
Got it. We're
That
on
is
it.
his name. Ezra Sosa is the other cutie with the incredible body and the big smile. And he's just pretty. Like, he's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty. But then this Benjamin Castro is just shocking. And every once in a while, they'll let him do a paso doble, like, shirtless and, like, dancer pants. And, like, the puberty's here again.
All right.
Yeah, I found
That
it.
sounds
Hang
fun.
on. Please hold everything you got.
I'm holding.
Where? Oh hell.
Holding on tight.
Holding on tight. So that
Holding out for
that
a hero.
ended, and again, they
What the hell?
usually every year you have to wait and find out. So you think Dance is coming back. You got to wait for clues from Fox. They're very hesitant to like announce the renewal. Run the finale show. They announced they were going to like change the format out a little bit more, and have a little bit more competition part and less of the academy part of the show.
Sure.
And then they were like, submit your audition tapes. So it sounds like they're already planning for season 17, which means that this year someone could be born the same year that the show first aired.
Wow.
So you could literally say
It's
you
time-
grew
it's
up
time
watching
to-
that show.
Time to put her down.
I know, and I always think that, but then, I mean, this dance to Amen, which I left the link in the room, amazing. Watch it on the biggest screen with the best sound you can. Gorgeous choreography. So then we get to really... Oh, and then I'm all caught up on The Good Place. I've decided over the last couple of weeks to, like, watch the episodes so I'm ready for the last season of The Good Place.
Boom. There he is right
I'm
there.
a little behind. I
Yes.
got kind of stuck halfway through this last season, and I haven't caught up yet.
Oh, he's so pretty.
He is
that
pretty.
hair. And looks like, I mean, he's showing you right up in his business. Hello. So I watched because I didn't remember how season 3 ended. Ended up last night in the rainstorm, crying my eyes out. First I watched So You Think You Can Dance, and I
Right.
cried through like 4 of the different dances. And my best friend Kat Deely was so emotional through the whole show. She was crying constantly, talking about like how much she loved this season of the show, and like that Amen number ended, and like the audience was going nuts. They're all crying. I'm crying. So then I watched The Good Place, and I forgot about the twist at the end of season 3. And I'm like, they're so good. It broke my heart. I was just, it
Aw.
was so sad to be laughing that hard and be so touched by these characters. It's just a great show. And there's, when it's all over, I think there's going to be 51 episodes to the entire thing. So easy
Sure.
peasy to watch. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? One day with the flu, and you can watch the whole thing. And then my friends...
Great reason to
the
get the
flu.
flu.
Yeah, one day with the flu. And then my friends over at Netflix decided, and they kept telling me, if you're sick of watching The Good Place, we've got this new show called Unbelievable you might want to try.
They're forcing that down my throat too. Is it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
Toni Collette and
I know cast-wise it looked worth it.
Merritt Weaver, or Weaver. I'm not how she pronounces her name.
However you
from
self-identify.
Yes. From, most importantly, from Nurse Jackie. She
Right.
was Nurse Zoe. And Nurse Jackie came out just when I first became a nurse.
Yeah.
And I just so identified with student nurse Zoe.
I
And
watched
just,
that whole thing last year. It was fantastic.
Fantastic. So great actors, both of them. Toni Collette,
Everything
good-
that she does.
a national
Watch that,
treasure,
yeah.
not our nation, but whatever
But
nation
we should
she's
treasure
from,
her
We
nonetheless.
should treasure her, and Merritt, and terrific as like a hardened, ballsy detective with a younger, more optimistic, more what's the word I'm looking for?
So she's playing Zoe again.
Not so
Yeah.
hard. She's not
Okay.
playing Zoe so hard, but she's they're making a deal of the age difference, that the one is probably 15 years older than the other, been in the game a little bit longer.
Right.
Still wet behind the ears, is that's the phrase.
Sure.
The first episode is brutal. Just be ready. The first episode of Unbelievable is very hard to watch.
Okay.
It is a very young woman who is attacked in her home. She lives by herself in a like a group home, and just things just don't add up in her story. She's a troubled teen, foster home to foster home. Things have gone terribly wrong.
14 to 22 years old.
Yeah, she could be anyone of 7 different ages, and people don't believe her.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's the other part about the story is it's a true story. People don't believe her, and then years later, it turns out it was a serial rapist, and so these two detectives in different areas of Colorado are working on crimes, realize that they probably have the same MO, and they start sharing information, and then they start sharing all over Colorado, and that's how this story came about, and it's a true story of the detectives that worked the case, the girl that went through all these things of no one believing she was attacked, and like feeling like she was losing her mind, the foster system that let her down, and it is just, I wasn't sure I could keep up with the whole series, whole 7 episodes
Yeah.
of the bleakness of that first episode. And then it turns into this detective story, and you're like, oh, okay, people are at least hunting for a criminal. That makes me feel better when there's people working a crime. And then it is total girl power, like till the end of like the girl trying to find herself, these women trying to find a serial rapist, and how they eventually help each other. And it's an amazing story.
And catch him?
Huh?
And catch him?
Well, I won't give that away.
Well,
Right. Don't spoil the whole thing.
But a true story.
I'm never gonna watch
I
it.
believe based on I believe it's based on an article from a magazine. Was
Okay.
the original source of this reporting of this story, and how these detectives got together, and the lack. Even this story took place in real life in like 2009, and police departments were not sharing information,
Right.
and just the
and now they all do, if I'm not mistaken. Like, there are databases
it's
of this.
slowly getting better, but it's still not. They're not sharing information. They're still more worried about jurisdiction and who's in charge of what. And there's just because somebody found a case outside of Colorado, they were able to go to the FBI. Then it became federal.
Oh.
And they were able to use the database. But so it has a lot to say on a lot of different issues that are just kind of like that Wind River when you find out about like Native American women and getting charged with crimes on a reservation, and just how horrible. So a lot of these things, I know you don't like these things because they're movies for some reason, but I mean, it's very interesting what you learn about like how the criminals are caught, and like.
No, I love
the-
it.
the-
I love a real movie. I don't like
Yeah.
fiction.
Right,
But no,
right, right.
I do. No, I enjoy that. I
Yeah.
just rarely stop and sit and watch stuff.
Yeah,
but,
but
that's why I watch the 60 Minutes and documentaries and
Yeah.
real stuff like that. No, that sounds it's interesting.
And it's very fascinating. So then on the Emmy Awards, the non-Schmemmys. So Game of Thrones won Outstanding Drama Series, but it didn't sweep, so that was interesting. Comedy Series went to Fleabag, which did sweep. It won so many awards and really was the surprise thing, unless you watched Fleabag and laughed your ass off. And then it was a tough season because Schitt's Creek, fantastic. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, fantastic. Barry, fantastic. The Good Place, fantastic. Veep. These are all great shows. I don't know. It depends on when I watched it. Like I watched Fleabag the most recently, so I probably would have picked that one because that's the one that I just watched.
Just watched, right?
Yeah. So that one would have been just a little bit funnier than Veep, except for I just watched the episode with Minna in Sweden again, and I almost shit my pants. I've now watched that episode like 4 times, and it's the most delightful 28 minutes, And I just can't believe the things that they all say to each other. Just delightful writing. No host, which is working out well. It was an awkward start as they had somebody do a number about I'm going to save the Emmys. And then Bryan Cranston came out and did like the introduction to television. And there was one really, really ill-advised production number that I don't know what they were going for, but it was to introduce variety talk show. Very strange, very weird.
Okay.
Like really needed somebody to be in charge of that and shut it down.
Well, I don't really look to the Emmys for a production number, so.
But James Corden will usually throw in something, or what's his face? Somebody usually throws in something in honor of the stuff that goes on TV, and this just was ill-advised, very bad. Limited series and a shocker because I really thought that When They See Us was going to be sweeping everything.
Okay.
Because again, that was the most recent thing that was on about the Central Park Five, very topical. Right. One of the most shocking stories, and if you When They See Us. Super hard to watch. It's so hard to think that is within our lifetimes, that those boys, men, the jogger in Central Park, that everyone went through that in our lifetimes. And that's how we know Trump is a racist, because one of the first things he came out as an awful person was his comments on the Central Park Five. So it's Ava DuVernay. It's spectacular, but it lost to Chernobyl. Which, again, another one. It's excellent. Escape at Dunamore, didn't love it. Sharp Objects, loved it. Fosse Verdon, we talked about that ad nauseum. It's just a great category. Like, I don't know how you pick. Standing television movie, Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, that had to win. I mean, I spent 15 hours doing every possible. That was the Choose Your Own Adventure movie. Oh, my God. Like, that's just genius.
Oh, and I didn't care for it. Like, I thought it was brilliant, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Outstanding lead actor in a drama series, and probably the biggest surprise of the night, Billy Porter wins for Pose. My only problem with this is for the entire season, it's not season one, it's not his show. It's
Correct.
Blanca's show.
Yes.
Blanca is the lead in that. He is a supporting character at best. In some episodes, he's really not even in. But they submitted, you only have to submit one episode.
And I'm still not convinced that he's not just playing himself.
Absolutely true.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you get an acting accolade when you're really just playing yourself?
Call Jack Nicholson. He'll tell you.
All right.
He's done it a lot.
Is his character called Billy by any odd chance?
No, pray tell.
Oh.
They never tell us his government name.
Yeah. So Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, I thought had a super, super outside chance at that one. That was kind of a 6-way tie. I really didn't know which way they were going to go. And the guy from Better Off Saul keeps losing, or Better Call Saul. So I really thought maybe this would be his year. I really didn't think. Yeah, maybe this time. Outstanding lead actress in a drama series. In another shocker, Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, which I was completely shocked by.
But she's so good. But that is acting. Now listen, Billy Porter in Pose, not acting.
Right.
This, great.
So this one, I really thought. I honestly thought it was between her, Sandra Oh, and Emilia Clarke for Game of Thrones, because I really thought they would reward her for being given such a shitty arc because of how hated the writers were for what they did to her character.
Yeah.
I thought people may have thrown her a pity Emmy, like, okay, you played a very unpopular storyline and you played it to the tits.
Like, yeah.
You should get some kind of award for something that we knew you weren't.
It's not how this works. It's not
lead
how
actor
any
in
of
a comedy
this works.
series, Bill Hader for Barry. A terrific category again. Phoebe Waller-Bridge wins an outstanding lead actress in a comedy series. She kills Julia Louis-Dreyfus's quest to be the most awarded Emmy winner of any category at any time ever.
Suck it,
one.
Julie.
And she almost won for every season of Veep. But again, you have Christina Applegate for Dead to Me, a national treasure.
National treasure.
Catherine O'Hara for Schitt's Creek.
National treasure.
And Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Just for that episode, we're going to the Catskills. Like, it's so delightfully high definition.
I will say it every day until I die. When I'm reincarnated, I want to live in the mid-50s. I want to be wealthy and Jewish in New York.
In the Upper West Side. Yeah. Upper East Side. I want to have the money. I don't want to be the trash on the West
wealthy,
Side.
Jewish,
Upper
New
East
York.
Side, yeah.
Right.
I was in a lead actor in limited series, and this was the great one. Jarrell Jerome wins for When They See Us, playing Corey Wise, the oldest of the boys that was convicted, and went to the high school for LaGuardia Performing Arts School, the school from Fame.
Oh.
He's young. He was in Moonlight. He was in Mr. Mercedes. He's a terrific young actor, and he won against two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali, Hugh Grant, Benicio del Toro with an Oscar, Jared Harris for Chernobyl, and Sam Rockwell, Oscar winner. He beat out some big-ass names for that show. So, and if you get a chance to watch that clip of him winning and his family losing their minds and just how excited they all were for him. And I think he was one of those ones that submitted his own name.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Lead actress in a limited series or movie was Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon. Well-deserved, and gave her big speech about equal pay and giving women what they need. Her speech was amazing about any time that she told the producers she needed this for her character, she needed that for her character, they just said, yes, Miss Williams, we will get that for you. And she talked about being equally paid and representing, and that, like, as an artist, if you're supported, you will put out a better product. So maybe that's her reason why she's lost 4 Oscars. Peter Dinklage won for supporting actor in a drama series for Game of Thrones. And then the shock of the night, and you could just see everyone in the audience like, what the fuck is this? Julia Garner for Ozark won as Ruth Langmore. Do you watch Ozark?
I don't, and people keep saying those words to me.
Oh my God, it's so good. And she is phenomenal as the little piece of trash from the trailer that runs the whole Ozarks thing, and she's fighting the big mob, the little mob. She's just fighting everyone just to get out of the trailer park.
Okay.
And it was one of those ones. She's against Fiona Shaw for Killing Eve, Lena Headey for Game of Thrones, half the cast of Game of Thrones, and that she won. I was shocked. I thought the winner here was going to be Fiona Shaw for Killing Eve. Just a shocking turn of events. Alex Bornstein for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Tony Shalhoub for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Ben Whishaw, who my friend Kevin has a big crush on, wins for A Very English Scandal, and came out of the closet and said to the boyfriend. So I think my friend Kevin at home touched himself a little bit. And then Patricia Arquette won for The Act. The story of
Blanchard,
Dee Dee and Gypsy Blanchard. Have you listened to that podcast yet?
Which one?
Gypsy?
No.
Okay.
Oh, they made a podcast about it too?
It was originally a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Everything's based off the podcast. So the podcast, I think, is called Gypsy. I don't think it's called The Act. It's right up there. You'll love it just as much as you like the one about the guy that
Oh my
lived.
God, but the series is fucked up too. You should watch the series.
Yeah. But he doesn't like watch TV. Podcast where we get him.
It's a true story.
It's a true story.
He'd
And
watch
the
it.
podcast is amazing. It is the longest case of Munchausen by proxy.
The gypsy or
The mother is...
no. What's the title?
It's called Gypsy, I think.
It is called Gypsy.
But it's the podcast about Gypsy
Blanchard.
Oh.
Blanchard.
Oh, I watched that movie. I know. Yeah, the little girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
This
there's
one
the-
you didn't watch the podcast with the real people?
There's the Hulu original series.
That's what
there's
she won
a
for.
movie or documentary, and then there's the podcast, right? I think there's a long form.
I'm
I think there's a
sorry.
movie about it.
I'm
Yeah, I watched
sorry.
the
I don't
movie.
think it's a podcast. I think it's a documentary called Die, Mommy Dearest or something like that.
Die, Mommy, Die. Or die,
No.
No. But it's all those words.
Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yes. So that was it for the Emmys. They were good. It was quick. It was fast. They were over in under 3 hours.
I didn't watch all, but I did see somebody showed on the news or somewhere Alex Borstein's acceptance speech where she tells the story about her grandmother.
Oh, and yeah.
That was quite powerful. So step out of line, ladies. Step
Yes.
out of line.
Yep. So now her and Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy have a whole bunch of Emmys between them.
Yes. Regardless of she plays so many different characters.
Yeah. But and she's so good on Mrs. Maisel. That's just such a delightful show. So we will talk about not much more. It Chapter 2. Anyone? Molly's on her own. I know she's read the books. So we talked about that. The sequel finally comes out because it's the longest book and it really is told in 2 parts. It's the children and it's the adults mixed together. The first part was all the children. the first fight, and they moved it up to the 90s and made the second part like more contemporary. There was some things that they left out of the first part that I was kind of disappointed. They managed to incorporate them all into the first 5 minutes of the second part. Like, all of a sudden, the one expression that was like the one kid talked too much, they'd be like, beep, beep, Richie. It just meant like, shut up. It was their way to just shut this kid up. They'd be like, beep, beep, Richie. And it was funny because all of a sudden that was part of it. And I'm like, that wasn't in the other part. They didn't call the one thing the deadlights. Like, they had left out like these things about like who they blamed all the child murders for in the original part. They left out what happened to that character, and the movie opens with what happens to that character. So,
Okay.
really good and super motherfucking scary.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 5 solid jump / screams / oh my fucking gods out of that. Really well done. It's really good. I can't wait to have like a snowy day with the flu and watch both movies back to back.
Central Corridor of
You
Arizona.
really should get your flu shot.
I'm not gonna.
Getting the flu an awful lot these days.
I rely on
Get
snow
your
days and the
shot.
flu. Yes, It Chapter 2. Annette, if you it's good. But didn't you say you watched the first one? I thought Annette said he watched the first one. Really, really well done. Whoever put that together, a fun Stephen King cameo with one of those things where watching on the screen, I know it's going to be either in the goofs, and I know it was some kind of an Easter egg. Because the book Stephen King was reading, they kept flipping it. So sometimes you'd see the spine with the name, and sometimes the book would be turned the other way. And then the book when you could see the spine. And I was like, freeze the goddamn thing so I can see what's written on the spine. So I want to know what book
he's reading.
What book he's reading. If they didn't, every time they showed it, the book was facing a different way. And it had to be on purpose.
Right.
Because it was
That's
so
one of those little
obvious,
things, yeah.
that was something. Yes, that's a good idea. Well lit, ripping in the middle of the day with people around. Yeah, I was in the theater with like 5 people, and we was screaming. There was screaming. Did anybody watch the Brady Bunch HGTV renovation show?
No.
This time it's personal.
Yeah,
No.
me neither.
Great job.
Oh!
Good reporting. Yes.
So one more thing.
Sir or ma'am.
So, update that I found out today, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Fleabag, first season of Killing Eve, is writing the new James Bond movie.
I did see that. I'm very excited.
That's impressive, that the Bond movie will be written by a woman.
And allegedly Bond may be a woman.
No,
There's
it's
is it
next time.
cast? Is it
This
next
one
time?
is,
Okay.
Daniel Craig is back for one more.
Because I know I keep seeing that article.
Yes. What they'll do after this one, they don't know, but this one will be Carrie Formiga, the guy that did the first season of True Detective.
Sure.
I think that Carrie, something like that. He's the director. She is one of the co-writers, and it comes out in like March or April.
Perfect. I haven't seen a Bond movie
Very
since I don't
exciting.
know when, so...
They're still good, except for the one I brought Clayton to.
Well, can't win them all.
And it was the one that you needed to see all 22 previous Bond movies.
To get it.
It was finally the first actual sequel to a Bond movie. After saying they're never sequels, you don't need to see anything. Even though, you needed like 5 minutes of information for Quantum of Solace. His
Right.
wife's dead. Go.
Good job.
I'll cut up.
Dead wife.
But she also died on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So 2 dead wives now.
Son of a bitch.
Yes, because they're able to switch it around because 007 is just the
It's like
job
Lord
name.
Grantham, right.
Right. Just the job name. King of England.
It's not his actual name.
No.
Actual names were not used.
Great job. Great job. That was good entertainment. I liked it.
Thank
No, Maggie enjoyed it.
Maggie liked
Maggie
it a
loved
lot.
it.
Maggie?
She's
I didn't know you were so into movies.
Yes.
You should watch more movies. Maggie likes them.
My book list isn't getting any shorter, though.
No. I read that book, The Chain, though, that Marnie recommended.
Oh, how was that?
It was okay. It's trying to be a thriller, but there was no real twist that you didn't see coming. You know what I mean?
That's always
It's
hard,
the premise of The Chain is that somebody has kidnapped your kid, so you have to go kidnap another kid so that you can get your kid back, and the chain continues on.
Oh, I gotcha.
God, it's exhausting.
Meh.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good to know. Good
Man.
to know.
It read really quickly. If you're looking for something to entertain your mind quickly,
Yeah, I've got like 20
did the
pages
job.
left of The Ladies Who Punch,
oh, that sounds good.
and they're getting
Yeah.
getting ready to get rid of
That's
Nicole.
the View one, right?
Yeah. Nicole Wallace. So I'm like, oh, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to see where they end the book, but like
Okay.
like
Like,
when,
at what point
at
did
what
they-
point did they call it that's the end?
Say that's it. All right.
So there you go. Should we wheel it now?
I guess we will.
Sure.
We wheel. We wheel it.
We made a
We
wheel. I
We
did-
wheel.
I prepared again this week. Look at me go.
That's amazing what you've done. It's amazing what you've done. Hang on. Let's,
Right on top of that, Rose.
Oh, of course you are. For some reason, I'm ultra distracted with stuff. Here we go. Let's
Because
go.
you're
with,
looking up pretty boys online.
No, I am not. I'm actually. It's a meme about a cat, and it just cracked me up.
Oh,
And
now I want to see the meme.
well,
What's the meme?
Well, I'll get that. Hang on.
I want to see the meme, not
well,
the wheel.
Oh my God, there is a game out there called Meme to Meme or something like that.
Okay.
So funny where you pick cards like Cards for Humanity,
Right.
and then somebody gets a picture to put up, and you have to put the meme to it.
Oh, funny.
Oh my God, I have not laughed that hard at a game I think since Cards Against Humanity.
That sounds very funny.
Like, oh, we were pissing our pants.
Pissing
There
your
are products you
pants.
can wear to avoid embarrassing situations like
Oh,
that.
Noah knew,
Oh, okay.
but I was.
So it starts out with this. It's this cat. Hang on. I'm so sorry. Wait. Starts out with this.
hijack the wheel.
It's a picture of this kitten.
Oh my gosh, look at him.
The kitten, and then it goes into.
I love him.
It goes to. Oh my God! Is that a cat or a sheep? It's a shat. Please don't call it that. It's a shitten. It made me laugh terribly.
That's very
I
funny.
just thought that was very funny. Well, okay, so that's a little sad
Thank
glimpse
you.
into
I
my.
needed that. No, I
You're
needed
welcome.
that.
You're
was
welcome.
That was very
So,
nice.
Oh, well, we're not doing the wheel. Okay, what?
Yeah,
are we-
do the wheel.
Just for a second, because Annette just brings up a story that I was going to read and he found it, but that the U.S. Navy has officially acknowledged that UFOs are real. The U.S. Navy has, for the first time, officially stated that the 3 UFO videos made public by former Blink-182 singer Tom DeLonge's UFO research organization are footage of real unknown objects violating airspace. I don't know if any of you caught this on the news.
Yeah, I
last
did.
week.
Yeah.
Navy spokesperson Joseph Grandisher told Motherboard that the Navy considers the phenomenon depicted in those 3 videos as unidentified. The UFO is increasingly using the terminology unidentified aerial phenomena to discuss unknown objects in the
Wow.
sky. Wow. So
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Oprah. Uma.
So that is really cool. And yes, and I read that and I was very fascinated with it, but I thought I was going to get eye rolls about it.
So
So
I
what?
think that's less groundbreaking than you think it is. That's the Navy saying, "Yep, there's shit in the sky, and we don't know what it is." There's no proof of aliens. There's no proof of anything.
Yeah, but at least they're not like trying to like explain shit away like they always do.
Well, they
because they
because
understand
if
the
I hear
internet.
weather balloon one more motherfucking time,
Well,
It's not a weather
You know who's going to take credit for this?
Donald Trump.
We have Space Force now. So
Space Force.
Space Force.
It's very
By the way, there's
exciting.
another meme I just saw that about him that says, "I'm not orange. Quit calling me orange. I'm peach." Anyway, so we're gonna move on to the wheel.
Wow,
Get it? I'm
He's
peach.
not wrong.
Yeah, that's right. There's that. Spin.
quite the pun.
Spin
Quite
this.
the pun.
Spin this.
Spin it.
See what we got.
Oh, I'm Peach. I just got it.
I'm peach. I'm peach. News quiz.
Oh, I love news quiz.
Oh, what's
News
the
quiz.
news quiz?
What a great way to start. So, News Quiz comes from the New York Times. It's a weekly quiz that they put out coincidentally on Tuesdays.
Isn't that good?
So
of
we
them?
can take them every week and find
We
out
should take credit for it. Just say
what
it's our
we
own.
know about the news.
Okay. Let's see how. Okay.
Question number 1. Anxious about their future on a hotter planet and angry at world leaders for failing to arrest the crisis, masses of young people poured into the streets blank on September 20th for a day of climate protests. Did they pour into the streets across China? Did they pour into the streets in every city in the U.S.,
New
in
York.
every country on Earth, or on every continent?
I think on every continent.
Wait,
In-
every
In China, in the U.S., on Earth, or every country, or every continent?
I think every continent.
Every continent survey says correct. Organizers estimate the turnout to be around 4 million in thousands of cities and towns worldwide. It was the first time that children and young people had demonstrated to demand climate action in so many places and in such numbers
We're
around
mad
the world.
as hell, and we're not going to take
Mad
it away.
as hell. Question number 2. President Trump is under intense scrutiny over a classified whistleblower complaint about his behavior, which at least partly involves his dealing with blank's new president. Mr. Trump's call for the country's government to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden.
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Ukraine is correct. We can get into more of that later if we wish. Question number 3. The number of birds in the United States and Canada has declined by blank or 29% over the past half century, scientists have reported this week. Is it 300,000, 3 million, 300 million, or 3 billion? The U.S. and Canada has how many fewer birds?
3 million.
3 billion?
I'd go with billion.
You go with billion. Well, let's see. Let's split the difference. We'll say 300 million. That's wrong.
Oh.
The answer is 3 billion.
There's 3 billion less birds.
3 billion fewer birds. The analysis, published in the Journal of Science,
Wow.
is the most exhaustive and ambitious attempt yet to learn what is happening to the avian population. The results have shocked researchers and conservation organizers. There are likely many causes, the most important of which include habitat loss and wider use of pesticides.
Sure.
Birds are dying. That can't be good for us.
Right. Birds, bees, like all the critters.
All the ways to get babies.
I mean, I think birds are filthy flying rats, but I'm not in charge.
But either way.
But they eat insects.
If the
Keep a
sky rats
profession-
can't survive.
I'm much less bothered by insects than by fucking birds.
You don't really know
Insects
that.
are a manageable size outside of Australia.
Question number 4. Game of Thrones made television history at the 71st Primetime Emmy Awards on September 22nd, winning for Best Blank and tying the record for most wins in that prestigious category with
Wait.
predecessors like The West Wing, LA Law, Mad Men, and Hill Street Blues.
Start the question again. Hold on, I got lost.
You should listen. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Well, that's new.
Game of Thrones made television history at the 71st Primetime Emmy Awards, winning for Best Blank. Winning what category?
Oh, okay.
And tying the record for the most wins in that category with West Wing, LA Law, Mad Men, and Hill Street Blues.
Outstanding drama series.
Drama series is correct. Question number 5. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused Iran on September 18th of carrying out blank with aerial strikes on oil facilities in Saudi Arabia the previous weekend. Did Iran carry out A, an act of war, B, crimes against humanity, C, environmental destruction, or D, trade agreement violations?
Act of war.
Act of war.
Act of war is correct. Mr. Pompeo's condemnation was the strongest yet from any American official about the attack in Saudi Arabia, which cut oil production, left 2 of the kingdom's most vital facilities smoldering, and exposed failures by the Saudis and their American allies in detecting an incoming aerial assault. Great job, guys.
Yeah, well done.
Question number 6.
This broke my heart.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of blank has long cast himself as spokesperson for the world's liberals, standing up to President Trump, supporting women's and indigenous rights, welcoming immigrants, and fighting climate change and racism. But that calibrated image suffered a major blow last week when photos and video emerged of the Prime Minister dressing up in blackface and brownface in the 90s and 2001. Where is he Prime Minister of?
Canada.
Canada.
So is his father.
Blame Canada.
I would imagine.
Blame
Sure.
Canada.
No, his father
His father was Prime Minister?
Yeah.
All that
Dated Barbara Streisand back in the day.
hockey
I
hullabaloo
was
and
less
Bitch and Murray too.
stunned by this than many, I think. I went, oh, sure. Who didn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think now it's just hard. Like, for some reason, why were people doing blackface? Like,
Well,
Because they had white faces.
I know.
Why else would you do blackface?
I liked it when they put an image of him in the dark face at whatever play he was doing as Aladdin or whatever, and they put a picture of Disney's Aladdin. They're like, clear, no, Aladdin's white,
Yeah.
based on the
Oh,
Right.
cartoon.
according to Disney, absolutely. All right, home stretch. Here we go. Question number 7.
God.
Merriam-Webster announced an additional definition for blank. The definition would be a third-person singular pronoun for non-binary people. We talked about this last week.
Is it they?
They, correct. They added an additional definition for the word they to include the pronoun that non-binary people prefer to use. Question number 8. This prime minister and his chief opponent, Benny Gantz, agreed September 23rd to begin talks for a possible power-sharing deal after last week's inconclusive election left Israel in political gridlock.
Netanyahu.
Correct.
Wow, Netanyahu didn't win outright? I missed
Nope.
that day of the news.
Me too.
No.
Inconclusive election. After meeting for more than 2 hours at the office of the president, the two men issued a joint statement saying that they had discussed ways to advance Israel's unity. That's craziness.
That really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew he was in trouble because he's like like their version of impeachment. He's being investigated for all
Yeah.
kinds
All
of
kinds of
corruption.
All
shit,
kinds
right.
of crap.
But he was one of those people that seemed like he had like put the kibosh on anybody else winning anything.
Somebody said that he was the prime minister with 9 lives, and he's on like life 47. Like
Yeah.
he's really past due.
Struggling. Yep.
Yeah.
Home stretch. Here we go. 2 to go. Question number 9. In one of the boldest state-led efforts to expand access to higher education, New Mexico unveiled a plan to make this at public colleges and universities free for all state residents regardless of family income. Is it A, books, B, food, C, housing, or D, tuition?
I go with tuition.
I go with books.
It's tuition.
Wow, very
Oh,
good.
I just guessed on that, but
Yep, the move comes as many American families grapple with the rising cost of higher education and as discussions about free college gain momentum in state legislatures and on the presidential debate stage. Nearly half of the states, including New York, Oregon, and Tennessee, have guaranteed free 2- or 4-year public college to some students. But the New Mexico proposal goes further, promising 4 years of tuition even to students whose families can afford it.
Wow.
Everybody gets college. They're the Oprah of college. You get college.
well,
You
they
get
did that at
college.
NYU
To some.
for the all the ones in the medical.
For some. This is for everybody.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying because I just watched that show again, or that story. They repeated it on 60 Minutes, where oddly the guy behind Home Depot who made all of his money, he and his wife announced that for this and was it this semester, whatever it was, when they do the white coat ceremony of all the new for the freshman year, I guess it is, and then when they all were seated, he came on stage and then said, as of now, this is an entirely tuition-free school to everybody for the remainder of whatever they had.
Wow.
And
That's
then all of
amazing.
the incoming, so from now going forward, whatever the medical program is, because
Right.
their goal was, the theory is to make money. All of the doctors keep going into specialized medicine rather than being a rural doctor or being
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
GP.
General practice doesn't pay,
They're
right.
trying to encourage people. You don't have to make $1 million to pay off your student loans. If you want to go and be a general practitioner or whatever in a small town, do that.
Right.
Then you don't have the overhead of all of your $1 billion.
And it keeps happening. The reason people get educations and get these jobs is to get out of the small towns and get to a big city, and
Right.
that's what's driving this push to the coasts that are sinking. Because Houston, I just don't go. I don't.
It's too fucking.
I don't think
we
I'm
don't.
gonna.
We don't have it. But they're swimming. I mean, Friday was good coffee with the Weather Channel because that was just rescue after rescue, and like 40 miles of a 10 just
Right.
shut down again.
Well, I couldn't even see it. Gone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You have one
But-
more?
One
Again.
more. My favorite question.
Okay.
3 truths and a lie. No.
I know.
3 of these are real titles from the New York Times. 1 is from The Onion. You tell me which one's from The
Oh,
Onion.
Okay.
Number 1, a boy was bullied for his homemade T-shirt. Now the University of Tennessee is selling it.
True.
Number 2, Antonio Brown says he is done with the NFL.
True.
Number 3, Case Keenum wins Redskins starting job with a heartfelt "What I like most about football is" essay. Or poor high school girls keep getting crushed in football. Is it time to level the playing field?
I think C is fake.
I think I'm going to go with C as well. But that last one, read that last one again.
Yeah.
Poor high schools, or I'm sorry, not girls. Poor high schools keep getting crushed in football. Is it time to level the playing field?
I think your middle one, your third one is your fake.
Third one is fake. Correct. Correct.
Okay. Because
That's not real.
I hadn't heard that last one, but the first two I had heard of already.
There it is. There's our news quiz for the week,
Oh
kids.
my God!
Great job. Stolen from the New York Times.
Spin the wheel. Let's see what else we get.
Intended for
on,
students.
My God, this is amazing.
Well done. We are good students.
We are good.
Fuck you, Governor Doug Ducey.
Fuck you, Doug
Fuck
Ducey.
you,
There
Doug
we go.
Ducey.
Kat, update us on this one, would you?
Your governor.
Your governor. Our governor.
Your governor.
I didn't vote for him.
has decided that he thinks, no, Christians shouldn't have to serve gay people. Shouldn't have to.
It's very Christian of them.
He says the state
That's what
already
they're known
has.
for.
He thinks the state already has too many laws, and businesses need the freedom to deny jobs, housing, and public services to LGBTQ people. He says, I think we've got a lot of laws, and I've been more in the business of wanting to repeal laws and regulations than put any in place. Arizona already has laws on the books prohibiting discrimination based on categories like race, sex, national origin, and religion. Sexual orientation and gender identity, not covered in the Grand Canyon
Not
State.
his thing, yeah.
Yeah. I can still get married
What
on
if we-
Tuesday,
what
lose
if-
my house on Wednesday, lose my job on Thursday, all because I'm gay. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank
What if we make the gays make it a religion? Then we're covered, right?
Yeah,
Then,
but
it's tax free.
I mean, do we have to have a pageant for our leader? It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a
We'll
whole
figure
thing.
out something to do. Well, I mean, if we just figure out how to get that tax break, my God.
In case you didn't know, Governor Ducey was responding to a recent ruling by the Supreme Court of Arizona, which ruled that some douchebag wedding art people did not have to make their arts
Right.
for gay weddings. I don't know. I think it's shitty when you, like, it sounds shitty when they say it out loud. You know what I mean? Like, in theory, we think, oh, absolutely. You know what? Everybody should have the right to just put it on the window. That's what we want to know. But then people say it out loud, and it just sounds shitty.
We have
it
a-
doesn't sound
Right,
right.
I feel like I should be able to be like, no,
We have a
I'm
friend.
going to take care of the person next door because you're Christian.
You're
so
a bigoted
Right.
asshole.
I'm going to go.
Right. Well, and that's the danger to opening that whole like discrimination based on belief, because then when does it end?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Here it's note cards, and then it's restaurants, and then it's hospitals. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not. I hate to use the slippery slope argument,
But
but
it-
it kind of is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We have a friend. I don't recall if he knows
I don't
him or
have
not.
any
Yeah,
friends.
we
I
do.
don't know why
we
you're
do.
pointing
We have
at
a
me.
mutual friend, Ruben. I'm not going to go with last name.
Oh, sure.
Does amazing work. Does a lot of steel work, metal
Yeah,
work. He does
very
a lot of
crafty, that man.
construction. He
Very
does a lot
crafty.
of different things. Oddly, also in the same kind of an empire business as you are with
Yeah.
regards to that.
Absolutely.
But he makes he works all over the place. Does a lot of builds for people,
Very
installs
busy.
and does
Very busy.
I wonder how it would go over if all these people rant and rave about all of his work, and all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, don't want to do your house because you're this or that or whatever." Like if they go to the news and have a fucking fit over, why can't we have pretty welded steel?
Homosexual
stuff?
man won't make my railing.
Right.
Right,
Next
right,
at
right.
11.
Right. I just can see them losing their mind. Well, we are Christian. Why would you discriminate against us? Because you're a bigot. Because you're obviously a racist bigot who doesn't. I
Right,
don't know.
because we're going to paint you with the same brush.
Right. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he would ever do that, only because he's a man in business trying to make money, and I get it.
Right.
So I can see that. But I mean, obviously, if the KKK called him, he's not gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll be right over."
Probably not.
No, I think.
I'm pretty sure they have their own contractors.
Yeah, probably do. Probably do.
So
They have their own people.
would Donna Summer be our idol for our religion? Well, I mean, there would probably be an election for, Barbara or
That'd be
Beth
quite a
or
few, right.
Liza.
I don't
you know.
know.
What I mean?
I
Right.
don't.
Oh, and then you've got
The
then you've got
youngins.
the Britneytarians.
Yeah.
But we already have a problem with Donna
The
because years
bays.
ago, even
Right.
though she fell on the sword and for a while she really pushed back on the gays. She
No,
was really,
she really didn't.
didn't she?
No, she did not. She did a prayer thing outside of a concert, and it just didn't go over well. It's all it was. She never said any.
So
of
how
the
does a
stuff
prayer thing get to be the gay story?
because there was someone who took it as saying that AIDS was God's retribution, and she never said that.
Oh, I never heard that, but okay.
Yeah, that's what she got in trouble for, was for saying that. And she didn't. She did a prayer circle. She used to hold prayer after concerts for fans that were religious.
Oh,
That
And
seems
she
nice.
said something about, she made him an Adam and Steve joke. And it just fell flat and got turned into this homophobic thing. But there were sick people coming into the concerts after the show and praying with her, and she prayed with everybody. And at one point, she made an Adam and Steve joke, not related to anything with AIDS or HIV. It was just a bad joke
oh,
that just fell on the wrong ears, and the rumor got worse and worse and worse, to the point that it was said that she said that AIDS was God's retribution for the sin of homosexuality. And finally, when it got to her, what was because the New York Magazine finally published the quote that she allegedly said, and then she sued the motherfuckers
oh.
because then it was finally in print, and when it was in print, and then she did the right thing when she found out. She was like, I was raising my children, I was out of the spotlight, I did not hear these stories, my family kept them from me, no one told me that there was this rumor about me, I've heard it and we are addressing it. And she wrote a letter to the Advocate. She did the concert for the gay men's health crisis. Like, she raised money, she did Music Cares every single year.
Okay, so then she's a contender, Jenny.
Yeah. And then she got a little bit of backlash because in the letter for the Advocate, she called it orientation. And everyone was mad that she called it sexual orientation. But, like, none of us knew in 1996 that sexual orientation was no longer that made it sound like it was a choice. So then she got in trouble again for the apology wasn't politically correct enough, and I didn't know that it should have been said something different. When I read,
What do you call it then?
right, that's and now there's all this
Because everybody's oriented different.
right now there's all this shit about the binary, the non-variant, but you know
That's
what I mean?
exhausting.
Right, and then it just turned into that where like then you just have to stop. Like now you're.
I feel like I just have
nitpicking.
to get out of all of this because it used to be easy. Like, again, we used to not be able to get married, no
Yeah.
children. It was easy. Like, come on, we're just going to skate through this and
Right.
go to a concert. Now it's just exhausting.
But also, it's not for you.
He said, she said, they said, it said, whatever the fuck. I'm like,
Right. Well, but I tell people because I hear this exact thing all the time. Like, I don't know what to do, and there's so many, and it used to be easier. But none of this is for you. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody decides that they're non-binary or somebody, you know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah,
they
does
identify
nothing to
as,
my day.
it does nothing to you. All you have to do is say, okay, what do I like? How would you like me to refer
Yeah.
to you? And that's all you have to do and move on with your day. It's not for you at all. You know what I mean? Like your identity is set.
No, I understand
and
that.
cool, and there it is. Like the rest
It's
of it.
just exhausting to be out about in the bar or in that environment anymore just because it's like, oh, dear God, you can't blink without pissing somebody off because you looked at them wrong, you called them something wrong, or you inadvertently stepped on their
And if they
deal.
don't offer you the opportunity to correct it, then that's on them.
That's on them for sure. But
You know what I mean?
all you have to do is continue to be polite to people and.
Exactly. That's all that's required.
I've never been anything but fucking polite, and you know that.
Do I
Spin the
that
goddamn wheel!
wheel. Yeah.
Here we go. What's next?
roll that beautiful bean footage?
Oh, we have to spin
Already
again.
did the news quiz.
We already did the news
Did that
quiz.
already.
I feel like this thing only has
Done it.
3.
No.
It's semi-random. It's,
Wait.
it's some shit.
What's that? Chicago Hinge
Chicago Hinge
2019. What is that?
2019. So this is actually a really cool thing. Hang on, I'm gonna send you some pictures,
Oh. now
and
we're
then I'm
doing
gonna talk a little while. So you
Okay.
have a minute. Hang
There we
on.
go.
Be patient.
I'm
So-
ever so patient.
I had never heard of this,
Okay.
but it's a cool thing that happens naturally. Westbound traffic on many Chicago streets came to a stop between 6:40 and 6:50 p.m. Central Time on Monday as drivers stopped to snap pictures over their dashboards and passengers with smartphone in hand leaned out of their windows like people are just going nuts taking pictures in Chicago between 6:40 and 6:50 on Monday. But there's a reason. They're all trying to capture the incredible image of a burnt orange sun setting exquisitely framed by a canyon of skyscrapers. It has a name, it's known as Chicago Henge. And it's one of 2 days a year when the sun rises and sets in perfect alignment with the city's east-west streets.
Oh.
Isn't
that
this
happens-
cool?
That
It happens
happens
in New
here.
It
York.
happens in other cities, absolutely.
It happens here too.
Chicago's street grid corresponds almost exactly with the directional points of the compass, and it happens in other cities with gridded streets too. Manhattan Henge, for example, is also a thing,
Oh,
but
okay.
Chicago is unique in that the phenomenon takes place every year on the spring and fall equinoxes.
Oh, that's very
Oh,
cool.
Isn't that cool?
I didn't know that part. That's cool.
With perfect early fall weather of partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 60s, this year's was perfect. This writer says he timed his departure from NPR's Chicago Bureau on Michigan Avenue at about 6:20 p.m., walked east up an incline on Randolph Street across from the north end of Millennium Park. Several dozen amateur and maybe professional photographers had already set themselves up on prime real estate on the road's median and on curbs along the railing to take pictures. Do you have the pictures?
I do. There's one
Check
right
this
there.
out.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
And then this one.
So twice a year, if you happen to be in Chicago, spring and fall equinoxes.
What street was it? Did it say?
It's Michigan, isn't it?
is
Or
it Michigan
It should be
Avenue?
Michigan, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I knew I'd heard of
It'll
I-
happen on a lot of streets, but I think this one, any of the east-west,
'Cause
like do east-west because their city is also a fairly accurate grid.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
got
a
it.
lot of their city streets run almost perfectly parallel.
And same here right now. This week, the sun is setting on McDowell Road.
Yeah,
Like it rises and sets on McDowell, which is horrible if you're driving
not so
Right.
great when
down
you're driving.
McDowell.
Exactly.
Because you have that thing. Because I go to work at I leave for work at like 6:25.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that week where like it's hitting at the right point and I'm going east, so the setting sun is in my rear view mirror, but it's like my whole rear window is just the sun.
Yeah, and I drive into it. I
Yeah.
come west in the evening, so it does hit me. There's
Yeah.
about a week or two every year where I'm like, oh, this isn't good. I should come, Maggie.
And I'm sure each street has a different like time, or if it's off by much, but
It should be the same
Should be
because
about the same.
in relationship to the
sun,
sun,
which
our
seems quite
city
large,
is
yeah.
quite small, so it should be
Yeah.
about the same time period. It shouldn't.
But depending on the
shouldn't
buildings that
vary.
line the street, the beauty of that picture would obviously look different. So that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah,
because our skyscrapers go
But I s-
northwest, so it wouldn't be the same.
I saw that and had never heard of that and thought that was super cool that it always happens in
I
Chicago
didn't know somebody
on
else
the
was
equinox.
enjoying it because I never think to share with anybody like what a weird drive it was into work today with the sun like blinding
like
me
perfectly
in the
on
mirror.
the
Yeah.
on the street. Yeah. So there it is. So there's that.
That's that.
What else is on the wheel?
Well,
And when we put up they put up the new building, I had no part of it, but they left. Everyone was very concerned that in this new tower we weren't going to have the beautiful windows that we had at the other tower. What
Sure.
we didn't realize they built way more windows, so the views are just beautiful. I mean, we used to be in the 11th floor, now we're on the 5th, so they're a little bit
Your views are lower.
less. Yeah, they're lower.
You went from like here to here.
Yeah.
but you can go up.
That's
if
a
you
great
want.
reenactment of our view. But
You're
so
welcome.
in January, I'm like, so there's going to be a time of year where this window to the west that opens up to the entire hall is going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, oh, I think they would have planned for that. I'm like,
I bet they
it's
didn't.
west. Like, there's only one, that building is going right there. It took 2 months for the sun to start setting right
in
there.
that window.
Oh, they had to buy blinds. People were putting up sheets. Like all of a sudden, you're like, "What the fuck is this?"
So dramatic.
But it shines all the way down the hall, so you're not thinking you're anywhere near a window.
Bam.
But you're 11 rooms away. But that motherfucker is right there, like blinding you. And they're like, "This is deadly."
You got to tint that. Can we tint that? All right. Let's see what happens when we spin it this time.
I think there's only like one or two more on there.
Impeachapalooza.
2019. How much do we want to actually talk about this? We've hinted on it a little bit. I have information if we want it, or we can just say it's happening and move on
Well,
with
it's
our
happening. I
lives.
mean, you can.
I don't care.
I
all
think
over.
the funny. Here's my. Well, let's
Here's
all,
your take.
let's-
What's your
let's all
take?
just do a little take.
Sure.
First, the fact that it's self-revealed, that the whistleblower's out there, but that big fucking mouth asshole
Right.
can't stay off the TV with his girlfriend Rudy, just blabbing, and then Rudy Giuliani saying that
No, I didn't do that. Yes, I did it. Did you see that one with?
with Cuomo?
Yeah.
You just said you
just
did.
said it. But then the best part was like, well, the government of the Ukraine. Why would the government of Ukraine
Care.
ask you anything?
Right.
You're not in the government. You're a
Right.
private lawyer. Like now you're making shit up. Like that's just making shit up. The other thing I thought was that there's so much in the courts right now still outside of the Mueller. Like Mueller closed his thing, but he left so many things open.
Correct.
That is he just laying down in front of the bus so that Pence can pardon him?
How do we think that Mike Pence has nothing to do with any
Right.
of this? Like,
I don't. Well, there's parts of it that I don't think Pence has anything to do with.
Maybe.
There's big chunks of it that I
Mother says I'm innocent.
yeah. There's
gotta
just
go. That
big
was
chunks of it
freaky.
that I just don't see where anyone would invite like that buzzkill to the
I
party.
don't think that there's a selfless bone in that man's body. I don't think that's
No,
true
I
at
mean
all.
completely
I don't think
selfish. I
there's-
think they know that something big. He's about to be
Taken down.
caught on something that he's like, let me give you this little nugget, and then I can get pardoned
Oh,
for
look
federal
over here,
crime.
look over here.
Right.
Right.
But the other thing is he can't get out of office because all those things in the Southern District of New York are just waiting for him
Right.
to not be president.
Just because he gets pardoned for a Fed crime, he's going
Right,
to go down
yeah,
for
The
everything else.
president cannot pardon you for state crimes.
Yeah, the
Right,
sooner he's
right.
out of office, the sooner all those things come home to roost. So I'm
Right.
kind of torn. But it just seems like I honestly can't believe someone's that stupid as I'm watching him be that stupid.
I think he's that stupid.
To actually say on TV,
I
I
agree
did
with
this.
what you said. He was in the clear. He would have been fine as far as the impeachment bullshit goes, but he just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
He had to keep talking, and then okay, well if you're going to admit to it, then astounding, all of it. But again, we will know much more. Obviously
As time goes on, right?
the sword was laid down today, so we'll know much more, I guess, in the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, then
The hearings are going to be great.
but aren't they
circuses.
going on there's a break for like 2 weeks?
Yeah, they go
So,
on recess.
Like at the end of this week, they go on a recess for 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen in 3 weeks when they come back. But
Very
who knows?
busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
And the other thing is, don't go on recess. You have business. Your
Right.
job ain't done.
Right.
You don't get to go on vacation, fuckers. You work for us, and we're telling you mandatory
but-
overtime.
No.
that's a little bit of a misconception because recess doesn't always mean like vacation for Congress. Like they have to go home to their districts, and they have to like there's business to be done at home too.
Yeah, I get that part, but at the same time, you got shit's going down now.
Yeah.
People need to be investigated. We need to catch them. We got to get them what's hot.
Yeah, but you got to do your homework before you can get on TV and do
what
the big.
the fuck was that Corey Lewandowski thing? First off, I stopped watching CNN because they hired him
Yeah,
as a
He's an asshole.
as a whatever they call them,
right.
talking
Contributor.
head, contributor, person to just scream nonsense.
Right.
With bad haircuts.
Oh God! And then he was such a dick.
Such
I
a
wanted
dick.
them to arrest him in contempt.
Yeah, I agreed.
I just wanted them to hold him in contempt and drag him off in handcuffs and perp walk that motherfucker. That was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Why do we not do that anymore?
That's how it's gonna be though.
Yeah.
Like
Like, you don't have any privilege. You didn't work in the goddamn White House. You left before the election. Slimy motherfucker.
All of them are. Well, I think that's enough.
All right.
I really feel that we've really
Did a great job.
driven it all home
we left
tonight,
one thing
haven't
on
we?
the wheel. I feel good about
What
it.
was
what was
the-
left?
What was one thing?
All right. It's petty.
Oh, personal? Something for you?
No, it's not even personal.
Getting a higher chair.
The seating at this particular table is subpar. No, that didn't make the wheel.
subpar.
So
It's actually sub-table from where I'm sitting.
Subterranean.
doesn't get
actually.
any lower than this. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Most people aren't going to know who Andrea Savage is. But
I
I
don't.
found a delightful little show that she wrote and stars in called I'm Sorry. I found it on Netflix. I don't know where it originated.
I have heard of this show.
yeah,
By the way.
it's a little cute comedy full of dick jokes and Andrea Savage. But every time I look at her, I think, how is she not related to Jane Lynch? Because they're the same person from Glee, obviously.
Yeah.
right now.
And they're not, but they're
I
not
want to
related.
say.
And I'm very concerned. Do you want pictures?
I'm sorry. Wait, I'm trying to think if this is the show I found. How long has it been around?
I don't know. I found it on Netflix.
There was a show that was streaming only. It was on Facebook a few years ago, and I think it was called I'm Sorry. And it was a married couple
Yeah, with a little girl.
with a little girl.
She's
right.
a comedian and writer.
And they went to some family birthday party with all the kids, and I forget what hilarity ensued within it. But
yeah.
it
Dick
was,
jokes. It's a lot of dick jokes.
But I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes, and then for whatever reason I got sidetracked. But it was very funny.
It's very funny.
That all sounds
very
sounds
funny.
like the first episode of Despicable.
Yep, that's her. That's her.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is. Oh, that's funny.
I'm
shit.
convinced that they're related. I think there's a conspiracy out there. I don't know if Andrea Savage was adopted when she was 22, posing as an 8-year-old. I'm not sure what's happened. But
And I like
I'm
Tom
very,
Everett Scott.
Yeah,
Fan.
he's very funny.
As we get out of all this, is that your?
That's it. That was
okay.
all.
Well, we'll just.
That was. I'm very concerned, and I'm quite convinced that
I
they
just
are.
added it to my list.
As we wrap up all this, I got a headline about an hour ago. The controversial Jodi Arias prosecutor, Juan Martinez, here from Arizona, demoted to auto theft division due to ethics complaints.
Wow.
Wow.
That's just breaking news
He's
from
having a
Arizona
bad
Central.
day.
I realize it means nothing outside of Arizona, but Google Jodi Arias. Find out what a bitch she is.
I thought we had a thoughtful question. Did I miss it?
Oh, wait, did we have
Oh,
one?
all he wanted to know was something that you used to think was gross, but then you ate it and it was delicious.
I don't have anything. I
I-
like to eat a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mine was mashed potatoes.
Food is oh my god, mashed potatoes are the food of the gods.
But they look disgusting.
I don't know.
No, they look like fluffy little clouds of wonderful,
Lovely. No, and starch free.
drenched in
As
mashed
we wrap
potato
up tonight's
and
show,
gravy,
let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
add a little bit of sour
And
cream
thanks
to
everybody in
that.
the chat room, Kevin and Bridget.
Oh my
and
God.
Nance.